Hello everyone. I will be going live. I will be going live just after the trophy presentation. I will be going live just after the trophy presentation. So bear with me for that, guys. Okay. Thank you, and see you then. All right, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Are you okay?
Oh, I was hoping it was going to be into tonight, but never mind. It is what it is.
Your
You hear
mic
me?
is off.
Oh. Hang on.
I think. Let me check.
Shouldn't be.
Oh no, it was me. I think. No, you're good, man. I think it was me actually. Sorry.
That's all right. Don't worry. Don't worry. You're right.
Yeah, yourself. What's going on, man? I'm just watching the end of the presentation. What's going on? They did it.
Yeah.
The best
Well,
team in Manchester.
I'm gutted. I got one prediction right, the one I didn't want.
Hey, man, seriously, it would make it. You know what? The first thing, the first thought in my head when I saw them go up to get the trophy was, it's when they put the medals on their necks. What might have been for Arsenal to some degree, maybe with the Premier League, you can't help but think to make comparisons because it's Manchester City. If it was another team, it wouldn't bother me. But when you see Man City, all the success that they're having now, and us poor Arsenal fans, I mean, we haven't won something in a while. I mean, let's be honest.
Since the FA Cup.
Yeah, like Chelsea have won the Champions League 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Liverpool have had a lot of success. Even Leicester have won the league 7 years ago. I know they're relegated now, but I mean, it's just seriously, man. As an Arsenal fan, it's like what?
It's a bit depressing, isn't it? It's a bit depressing.
Like this season shouldn't paper over the cracks. Yeah? There are problems within our club. I mean, I'm not trying to hype up my channel, guys. I have better things to be talking about. Trust me, like a good Champions League final. But oh man, listen. First of all, anyway, congratulations to Manchester City. I have no bitterness.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need some wild money. You see Arsenal forever saying it too. You were saying it. I mean, this is what can be achieved. I don't know how all these fans got tickets for this game and where did they get the money to go? Did they take out loans or something? They must have taken out loans.
Been saving up all their dole money, I suppose.
I don't know about you, man, but sometimes it's hard to rub two fivers together. You know what I mean? It's not. It's like a man buying
it's so true. I mean, literally, I did the shopping yesterday. I know it's not football, but I did the shopping yesterday, and like what normally cost me about 70 or 80 quid, it's like 130 quid. I was like, fucking hell! And I look in the fridge and I just think there's nothing in there. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. So yeah, I don't know how they could afford to go and do that.
Yeah. And I'm working in a low-paid job, yeah, like a lot of people. Yeah, I'm not going to say what company I work for, you know full well, but I work in a low-paid job, and a lot of people working with me, any of them, like they're living in a council house, but they have like they have kids. It's basically for them. That's it each month. They pay their bills, they buy the food. Even me, I'm like, if I could save a couple of hundred, it's a good month. It's like. I don't know how they can afford this. Like, I'm not begrudging them. I'm like, the sooner I get back to Switzerland, the better, man. Seriously, and trying to rebuild.
Yeah,
Jesus, maybe. I mean, if you're in my situation coming to the UK, it's different. Yeah, I mean, obviously, English people living here their whole lives with family and stuff, you can't compare. But you know what I mean? It's like, seriously, how do they manage this? Like, and I don't know, man. Yeah, like you'd barely be able to rub two tenors together, man. You wouldn't be able to. I swear to God, before I leave, man, I'm going to go to the cinema. Big bucket of popcorn. I'm going to go into the nightclub. Big woman. I'm just going to go big. You know what I mean?
Do it.
I'm just going to go big, man. And I'm going to end up with my pants around my ankles walking down by Trafalgar Square.
Well, before you said that, I was going to say, make sure you get pictures and put it all over Instagram. And then you said, oh, I'm going to have my pants around my ankles and stuff. I'm like, yeah, maybe not. Maybe not.
I have my jocks on, yeah. I have my boxes on.
I don't care. No, I'm not. No, just no. Just good luck to you, but don't.
I'll have my Homer Simpson around. It's fine. There won't be a problem. Look at Haaland. Are you still watching it, no?
I turned it over. I've had enough.
Haaland is like that. And he's right over by the fans and all the attention on him, yeah.
Yeah.
He's been good, though. All right, there's a comment coming in. If it wasn't for Arsenal, for bottling the league, Man City would have been double winners instead of being treble winners. We handed the league over on a silver platter.
Spot on. Yeah, bottled it in the last few games.
They did bottle it though. Like I don't know what I tell you, but there was a Chelsea fan in the hotel the other day, an American guy. Yeah, so he had flown over from the States, and he was with his bird, and he was there. oh yeah, Arsenal battling it, you know. It was like, what did I say to him at the end then when he was going, I goes, oh, we'll be back, don't you worry about that. And he was kind of like, yeah, but I said it with a real bit of, you know, I played it off like nothing when he was saying about bottle jobs, you know, I just let it go right over my head. And then he goes, oh, we'll be back, don't you worry about that. And he was kind of like, but we got the better of them this season. We did get the better of Chelsea. I mean, when we played them, we whooped them. You know what I mean?
I know, but
and we finished second. We got in.
Yeah, but it's seconds. I'm sorry, it's just we had the lead for 97% of the season, and then to just completely bottle it like we did, throw it away. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Like to not turn up against. Like, look, no disrespect to West Ham, they did really well the other night. By the way, fair play to them, and they deserve what they got. But you know, it's West Ham. They've had a shit season. We draw against them. We draw against Liverpool first of all, which all right, fair enough. Look, it's Liverpool. When they turn it on, they turn it on. But to play like the way we did against West Ham and then Southampton, unacceptable. And then we got panned by fucking Brighton, and it's just like what, and Nottingham Forest, and it's just like what the fuck. But then when the pressure's off. How many times have we seen this? We see this when we were second in the season, when Leicester won the Premier League. Like we were fighting with them to try and win the title, and then it's like, as soon as the pressure's off, oh well, that's it. Then we'll start like smashing teams to pieces. It's like, where was that against Southampton? Where was that against?
When we needed it. When we needed it.
It's ridiculous. And like I was in the chat earlier on when you were live streaming. Like, and one of the guys said, "Oh yeah, you know, we've had a fantastic season." Have we? We haven't won anything. Yeah. We threw the title away, but we've been told we've had a successful season. I don't think it's been successful at all. Like successful would have been if we won the league. We threw it away. We said that we were going to come out. We wanted to come out of all these other competitions because we had bigger fish to fry. Where are these fish? It's like a can of sardines now.
Yeah.
It's pathetic. And it's like, we need to spend big in the summer. Again, like I said, we've had this conversation so many times, Dave. We didn't do enough in the summer transfer window. We didn't do enough in January. And that's part of the problem. And it's always, we never do enough. It's always the same. It's been the same for years. Like, not just because of Arteta and Edu, but it was the same with Wenger and Gazidis. We bought Petr Cech and we didn't buy any outfield players. We bought one season where we only bought Mohamed El Nene. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, we've got money, so spend it. I don't know what Edu's doing. Apparently, he's in Mykonos still, enjoying the sunshine.
Someone told me a picture of him at the barbecue. Someone sent me a picture of him at the barbecue.
Unbelievable. Like, and they said, "Oh well, I have my phone with me, and I'll be keeping an eye on things and all that." Well, that's great, but why is Declan, like, you know, we were leaving the whole. What was it they said? Oh, we're gonna, you know, we've had a gentleman's agreement with Declan Rice. We'll wait for now until
good relations with the club. Yeah. What is that about?
Yeah. Why do you care if you've got good relations with the club?
Busted.
It's like they're on about, oh, we're going to go in for Caicedo again. Well, you said you want to keep good relations with the club. That's why you didn't do anything. So what's changed? It doesn't make sense.
I'm looking here at the reality, and this is completely different to our reality. Like, the guys are on the pitch now with their birds. They're all kissing the medals. They couldn't be happier. I mean,
could have been us.
We never won the Champions League, man. We came close once, yeah. But I mean, a bit of success, you know, the league title, that would have been decent for us.
Yeah, could have been us a while ago. Could have been us with the league, you know, kissing the winners' medals, showing the league off, you know, and it's just, it's just soul destroying.
But I don't understand why there's like, okay, we got Saliba signed up again, yeah, that's grand, yeah. We got the contract extension for Saliba. We're after nailing Bukayo Saka down. That's great news, huh? But it won't be like last season. We're going to need to strengthen further. And the problem as well is, my friend, why the hell are we hesitating so much when we're trying to sign players? I mean, Liverpool, they wanted McAllister, World Cup winner, yeah? He plays for Argentina, guys. Just so people know, yeah, don't let the name fool you. It's McAllister that played for Argentina and won the World Cup. They wanted him from Brighton. They got him. He was signed. No such thing as, well, the transfer window hasn't started. The season hasn't officially ended. Nah, man. No. They were straight in there. Big up to Lee Gunner, man. He can go on a bit, yeah. But on his channel, he nails it down.
Yeah, but he's spot on with everything. The thing is,
He'd wake you up.
People hate what he says. People hate what he says.
Gunner, man.
People hate what he says because he's spot on. And they don't like to hear it. They don't want to hear it. They think, oh, you're just negative, you're toxic, you're this or that. No, he's honest. He says it as he is. He supported the club as long as we have. And he knows his shit. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
The priorities are all wrong. Like so like you say, McAllister's been signed up for Liverpool, yeah? Where's our guy to sign up the players? He's on holiday. I'm not saying he don't deserve a holiday, but get some of these deals over the line before you fuck off.
Let someone else take over when he's away. He does the groundwork and then someone else finishes the deal. I mean, this is serious business we're talking about here. We're not messing around here. After what happened last season, that was the exact reason why we couldn't get over the line. When will they ever learn? That's what cost us. It wasn't Saliba's injury. We didn't have the strength and depth, like you said earlier, man. We didn't have the quality coming off the bench. You commented on one of my videos earlier. You were talking about the quality on the bench. City have two teams. Come on, like, look at the players they have. De Bruyne goes off. What is the name of that great English player? The small guy. He switched for De Bruyne.
Foden.
Foden. Look, come on, like he was electrifying after about 15 minutes. He got into the rhythm. He got into the pace. He was doing drag backs. He was flicking the ball. He was going past people like they weren't even there. I mean, the guy is, he laid a few on for Haaland. Haaland couldn't break free. Look at it. I mean, God almighty. Like you said earlier, man, we have to get rid of the deadwood. I do actually watch when people comment on my streams. Yeah, you were saying about we need more players. Our bench isn't strong enough. We need to get rid of some of the deadwood. And we do.
Right.
I mean, when are we going to start weeding these guys out? Fabio Vieira, he has no place.
Not good enough. Not good enough. All these players we bought, like literally, out of the last two, maybe three transfer windows, breaking news, Arsenal offer, West Ham.
I believe it when I see it, by. They're saying, I put a mark on the wall.
No. Yeah, just like we did with Suarez. 42
million. Arsenal forever, man. But I believe it when I see it. If I hear £1 and those kind of headlines, man, I'm just going to go up and I'm going to strangle someone on the street. I swear to God, this team, Declan Rice. Honestly, I would take Caicedo in a heartbeat. Rice has had a great season with West Ham. Big up, man. I mean, look at this here. Kyle Walker having a little speech by medal around his neck. What about Arsenal, man? Seriously, when you see this now, it's like, look at Cesc Fabregas. He looks like he's about to get sick. You know what I mean? Big up Cesc Fabregas, man. But we could have had the league, man. We could have had the league.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, the problem is we've got a ton of deadwood at the club. We've gone out and spent a ridiculous amount 2 seasons ago on shit that wasn't worth buying, i.e. Runnison, Sambi Lokonga, Cedric Suarez. Look, I go through all this shit with you all the time, Dave. And it's the same old. And I can see what happened. Like, if we do get Rice and Caicedo, and then we'll get a load of mediocre players again that aren't worth ain't worth a toss. And we'll be in the same situation again. It's the same old. It happens too often, mate. It's happened for years, and it'll keep happening. And half the problem is Wenger stayed too long with Gazidis, put this club behind so many years, and this is why part of the reason why we're in the same situation. This will keep going on. This will keep continuing. We need, like Arsenal forever said earlier on, we need like oil money. We do need oil money because that's the only way we're going to compete. We keep going for players like Lokonga, Jorginho, fucking who else did we get? Fabio Vieira. I mean, the next Bernardo Silva, apparently. Really? Like, I don't know who scouts these players.
I don't know, man. Listen, look, honest to God, I mean, we're kind of finally coming out of our bubble now, yeah? And we're looking at Man City doing the treble, okay? Now, I want to be talking about them all night, but I'm looking at Kyle Walker having a chat here now with the boys around him. We come out of our bubble, and let's face it, we were in a bubble when we were going for the league. I actually thought we were going to do it at a certain point. We're out of our bubble, yeah, and we're back to reality with a bump. You know what I mean? Like, we need to hit the ground running next season, and we're lethargic in the transfer market, but never mind that, yeah? This problem has been there constantly. Like, I like a lot of guys on Instagram, yeah, and I'm not going to name names, yeah, but a couple of them, like, they have their own little businesses going on where they sell jerseys. Of course, they're season ticket holders. Of course, they have connections. They've probably bumped into Robbie once or twice. I've got no beef with these guys. I have no problem with them. But when I see them straight after what happened to us in the league, we capitulated, yeah? People say bottle job. I like to use the word capitulate. We fell apart completely, yeah? We capitulated. When I see them bigging up the new gear and the new merch, I mean, do you think that I give a... Sorry, no, guys, but I don't give a fuck about the merchandise, my friend. I couldn't give two shits about that fucking crap. All right? I couldn't give a... You know what I mean? I want the club to be successful. The club that I supported as a child, that I still support as a man. I don't care about walking down the road in my Arsenal jersey. I want the team that I care about to win something and be successful. Not that I can walk down the road with my fucking back out, you know what I mean, acting the man, because I care about the club. And we have a lot of good fans at this club, man, and we deserve better. People like you, me, Arsenal Alex, different generation to these mugs that are going around these days. But I swear to God, when I see that, about the merch, who cares about that? Who cares about it? I'd like a nice new jersey, wear into the pub and have a nice pint with my friends and go out with someone and have a laugh. But it's not the be all and end all. Who cares about all of that?
Mate, I think sorry, man. Caicedo is better than Rice. Absolutely, I'll spot on with that, mate, by the way. But no, you're right with what you say about the merch. I mean, I don't know about you, but the last time I bought an Arsenal shirt was when we re-signed with Adidas. That was the last time I got a couple of Arsenal shirts from the Arsenal.
I got gifted a few, but I mean...
Yeah, I haven't bought anything since, and I won't.
Yeah.
I refuse to give this club any money. I used to do it all the time. Every season I'd go out and buy the new shirt, and, you know, I refuse now. Why should I? What for? We don't win anything. We keep...
Your hard-earned money, man. Your hard-earned money.
Just complete bottle jobs. I know you said capitulate, but for me, they're fucking bottle jobs, mate.
Yeah.
They're spineless. Spineless. When it comes to the crunch, they're fucking gone.
Odegaard, he's got nothing about him when it comes
Overrated.
Nothing about him. People compare him with Bergkamp one more time, and I'm going to slap the taste out of their mouth. If they compare him with Bergkamp one more time, I'm just going to slap the taste out of their mouth.
These are the same fucking dickheads.
Come on, man.
If Mesut Ozil's better than Dennis Bergkamp, fuck off. What world do you live in?
Oh, damn it.
Fuck off. Morons.
But you know what I was saying about the merch? I missed the point because I went off on one, but I had a bit of a rant. But the problem is, it's not that they're selling the merch or this, that, and the other. And there's other fellas doing it privately. They have their own like collectibles, from 2006. Yeah. Perfect condition, brand new, repackaged, everything cool. I get it. Big up, man. They're making a living and they're fans. I get it. They are gooners. They're fans. But this was just after we had fallen away from the league. Who cares about that at this moment in time? That is not important. Yeah, your business is important. You want to do a bit of that. You want to have your holiday. But that is not important. It's not important.
The thing is, I mean, I couldn't give a fuck about them. I get what they're doing it for. It's their business. It's their livelihood, maybe. I get that. But Arsenal's livelihood, the Emirates, the fucking Armoury, buying these dickheads that go week in, week out still spend all that money. You know they're going to rise the price of the season ticket as well, right? That's going up. But also, I looked online because I thought, well, I know they're on about bringing out I haven't seen the new jerseys, and I went online the other day. Like, I wasn't going to buy one, but I just wanted to see what they look like.
Yeah.
And I looked at the prices of them. Like, I don't know about you, but the last football shirt I bought was like 45 quid. They're like 70 quid standard now. £70.
Yeah. Like the replica jersey is 100. It's 80. But the actual official one that comes out after is going to be 100. Like the Premier League official. They have like a replica and an official or something like that. One is 80 and the other one, I think it just came out now or it will next week, is 100. Like 100 quid. Jersey going on, man.
For a fucking shirt.
I've got loads of Arsenal t-shirts in there, brand new. I barely wore them, like t-shirts and nice ones.
Yeah.
I have jerseys, I have this, I have the scarf here, I have baseball caps, I have this, I have that, I have the other. I mean, seriously, man, the club is worth more than that. The club is worth more than that. And it's not a matter of do you have the money or not. Why spend it on that? I mean, Arsenal Alex, he was saying to me he gets them from Asia, 3 in a pack, maybe 60, like copies. It's grand. You know what I mean? He said someday when he puts it in order, he can put one in for me too, and get them all sent over as one. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, seriously, watching City winning the cup against United, watching them win the Champions League now, the way they kind of cruise to the league, it's all kind of come crashing down for me anyway in the last few days, man. It's just, you can't escape it, you can't get away from it. And when you go into work, then you have a Chelsea fan saying bottle jobs. What's your reply to it? It's true. You know what I mean?
It's true. You can't deny it. We are a bunch of bottle jobs.
Honestly,
and the thing is, it's when the going gets tough, Arsenal get going. It's the same old, same old. Did you know Arsenal sacked their scouting? So leaves us with Edu. Yeah, exactly. Well, there you go. It says it all, doesn't it? And where's Edu? On holiday. And he's not right as a director of football. We need Mr. Arsenal, David O'Leary. Yes, we do. David O'Leary would be great for us as Arsenal director of football. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Great comment.
Yeah. David O'Leary's a famous guy.
Absolute legend. I met him once. He's a great bloke. Really, he had all the time in the world. I didn't speak to him too long, but we spoke a bit about Arsenal. I said, what do you think about the way things are going? This was when Wenger was there. And he sort of just looked at me and then just walked off.
Say no more about it, man. Say no more. Seriously. I mean, Arsenal forever was piling it on here. £80 it will cost you to buy the new Arsenal home kit. You're not telling me in 2 years the cost gone up by 33% in 2 years. Wow, it's gone up by 33% in 2 years.
Mental, isn't it?
And where is that money going? I mean, they're just seizing on that money. It's greed, yeah. Obviously the owners. But what about investing it back into the team?
Well, the thing is, it's not just the cronkies and all that the problem. It's the fucking fans that are the problem. Like, no disrespect to the people that go. If they want to go, they want to go. I stopped going a long time ago. I stopped buying merch a long time ago. But I just thought to myself, well, if you guys stop going to the armory and buying all the kits and everything and all the merch and the training tops and everything else, then maybe like the prices wouldn't be so sky high. And not just that, maybe they think, well, fuck, something's not right here. Why are people not buying it? And they'd have to think, well, hold on, there's a problem because we ain't doing very well in the league. We ain't doing very well in other competitions. We haven't got enough decent players in the team. Well, shit, we need to do something about it. But they don't, and they'll keep going to the games. And the thing is, when people do stop going to the games and stop buying the merch, there'll always be the next person to take the season ticket on. They'll still take, and they'll take the ticket, and they'll go to the shops and do it all. It's a horrible cycle, and you won't break it unless we all get on the same page. And unfortunately, you've got a lot of these people that will still keep going. That's half the problem. That's half the problem.
And the clubs that have had the financial investment, like City and Chelsea, I'm not bitter about them. I'm not begrudging them. Fair play. Abramovich showed a real interest in Chelsea. He supported them, not like our fella, not like Ronke. But the problem is, man, like you either end up like us, like you and me, good fans that want to do things right and don't want this infection, this disease spreading through our club, or you turn into Manchester City or Chelsea and you have your success, but at what cost? There seems to be, you know what I mean? Is it just me? Like, it's like we need Batman to come or someone. It's like Gotham City. You know what I mean? Seriously, man. It's like Gotham City.
It's like the nutters. It's like the nutters running the nut house. You know, it's like I just think you need like what Bayern Munich got. You need that kind of like blueprint. You've got ex-players running the club in the boardrooms and everything. They know the club inside out. They give a fuck about their club. They die for that club. We don't have that. The thing is, and also, like, we go on about Qatar money. But the thing is, you'll always get the demographic of the hipster Arsenal fans. But we want to do things the right way. No, we don't. Listen, we need to move with the times like everyone else does. Chelsea started all this whole thing with the money and everything, right? And everyone's like, yeah, but you know, it's you're doing it wrong, blah, blah. Fuck that. Who gives a shit if you're doing it wrong? They've gone out and bought top world-class players and won things. We've done fuck all since, you know, Henry, Bergkamp, Vieira.
They made the fans happy. They've made the fans happy, my friend. The fans have been happy. And Abramovich showed an interest there. He wasn't just a money-grabbing oil tycoon. He pumped in a lot of money. Yeah. They made the fans happy, and they turned Chelsea into something positive for the future. And they're coming back now again.
Yeah, and who wouldn't want to be in that situation? As a football fan, your club, like, bear in mind, let's remember where Chelsea were. They were in the gutter a long time ago. Abramovich goes
They were nowhere. They were nowhere.
An absolute transformed.
League Cup quarter final team. You know, they were in the doldrums, man.
Yeah, they were a terrible team. I remember back in the early 90s, they were shocking.
They couldn't win an argument.
No.
Number 1 year, they went to the FA Cup final and they were beaten 4-0 by United.
That's
and
right.
Hughes had switched to Chelsea, remember? Mark Hughes had gone to Chelsea. He didn't get a sniff all game. And they got thumped 4-0.
92, 93, 94 or something like that. I can't remember the year.
I think Chelsea had Dennis Wise,
Erling Johnson, Dimitri Kyrene in goal.
4-0.
Yeah.
That was Chelsea getting thumped 4-0 in their one FA Cup final in 20 years. Now look at that.
I'd love to be in a situation where money's no object and we can just bring anyone in. It doesn't matter. You want 40 million? Oh, here's 50. Fuck it. Let's just get it over the line. What's he saying? There are idiots in our fan base trying to defend their dude, saying he's not allowed to bid or negotiate for any players till July. Oh, well, exactly. These people are fucking idiots. I never listen to them. Fucking idiots, a lot of them. Honestly, I've got no time for them.
Oh my god! Seriously, man. Seriously.
I've had people tell me, like young fellas, like 18 to 24-year-olds I work with, telling me, "Oh, look, we're Arsenal fans. You should be happy. Look how well we've done. You should be happy. We threw the league away. We've won nothing. We've had the same sort of season as Tottenham. Let's be happy then, shall we? We've won nothing. We could have won the league. We threw it away, but we should be happy."
We're back at 0. They don't realise in the new season we're not going to kick on. We are not going to kick on. This was our chance. Look at West Ham. Look at West Ham. That's what happens when a team goes out and commit themselves fully. They committed fully. Every single player on the field for West Ham gave their heart and their soul. And I'm not making this dramatic, man. I saw it. They gave everything. Their bodies were put on the line. Guys were absolutely fighting tooth and nail for every inch. They were fighting for every ball. Now look at the result they got. I couldn't be happier for them because they stood up to a man, every single one of them, and they didn't shirk responsibility. Bowden, he is like Gareth Bowen. He is a lethal player, as we found out against him. Yeah, lethal player. Respect to him, man. He's always dangerous. He never let his head drop when Fiorentina got the ball. He was waiting for that one pass, that one through ball, and he was onside. And big up them, man. Big up Moisey, man. Big up the whole
mate. I tell you what.
Oh man.
I watched the whole game, and like, to be honest with you, they fucking wanted that game so much. You could see it in their eyes. Like, it was just, we're having this.
Yeah.
Like, when they scored, like, I know it's a penalty. It was Ben Rama scored the penalty.
Yeah.
Run up straight up to the fans and everything, and it was great. And then you see their Fiorentina score not long after. And you're like, oh, fucking hell, like, you know, it's a shame. And then you're thinking, well, that's that then. And then you see a knock through to Jared Bowen, and I was just like, he's in here. He's going to fucking score, like, you know. And that's, they gave a fuck. They played with their hearts. They knew they had a shit season. They gave it everything. And
it can be achieved, man. It can be achieved. It is possible. You don't need a superstar team.
Well, you just need like a good bunch of players, a decent bunch of players. Like, they haven't got to be, I don't know, fucking like super, you know, like fucking extreme superstars. They've got to be like players you've heard of. And half the problem is, I mean, did you know about Mohamed El-Neni before he signed for Arsenal?
No.
Did you know about Sebastian Squillaci, or did you know about Marouane Chamakh?
I never knew about Kivior.
Yeah. There you go. Mediocre signings for years.
I never knew about Ramsdale either. But look, Ramsdale's been all right, man. He's been
That's part of the reason why we lose players. That's part of the reason why, you know, you get a good player or get 2 or 3 good players. Like, yeah, remember Sanchez, absolute superstar, beast.
Oh, I seen him play. Brilliant.
And then the reason he wanted to leave is because the club had no ambition.
But you know what the thing is as well? I mean, like, when you think it's hindsight is 2020, yeah, but logically, when I think about it now, I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? All right, let me try to jog my memory. Like, man, I have a good point there now. It'll come to me. Let me think about it. It'll come to me. I'll get it back. But yeah, all right, man, seriously.
I just want to see next season, and like the whole Edu, that fucking moron being on holiday. Like, when we need to start finding players, the transfer window's like pretty much open. We need to start making things happen. We need to start making moves. I don't want to hear, well, we got a gentleman's agreement, or we got this. We're in talks. Oh, we might sign this player. Oh, we might sign that player. Listen, get your fucking checkbook out and start doing something. Get off your fucking holiday, come back to London and start sorting things out, because this is taking the piss. Declan Rice will end up being somewhere else like United or City or somewhere. If we leave things too long, this is what's going to happen. And it's the same old, same old. Like, I keep hearing, also, that's what made me laugh. I heard, like, oh, yeah, I don't know whose chat it was in. Might have been yours. I don't know who it was. But they said, like, oh, yeah, well, you know, we've nearly got rid of that team that Emery bought in. Well, he didn't buy the players. They do went out and got the players. People have a bit of a short-term memory. I don't know. Maybe they do or don't. I don't know. But he didn't want... who was the guy? Socrates. He wanted bloody Harry Maguire. He didn't want Pepe. He wanted Zaha. I know, right? I know. Well, bullet well dodged with that one. But he didn't want Pepe. He wanted Zaha. So they weren't all signing. So it's like, well, you know, you can't really blame Emery for the dross we've got. I don't think he wants Stefan Lichtsteiner either. But we ended up with all these fucking shitty players.
Lichtsteiner, my God, the Swiss captain at one point. He is, what a muppet. I mean, the thing I wanted to say though was, man, how much of last season, the season just gone for Arsenal, do you think of that was planned by Edu and was planned by Arteta? Because I always have this kind of sneaking feeling, like I said, hindsight is 2020. They got a little bit lucky with the players that they had, the players that they bought. Like, we didn't get the players that we needed as such. Saliba came back. Things kind of fitted into place and we had a title run. But I can't help thinking that wasn't exactly planned. I know you can't plan everything to script, but when Klopp has a vision and an idea, he tends to be a bit more, like, I'd have more faith in that he actually steered the team into this position. I just think that a lot of different factors came in and we had a title charge. Now, we wouldn't be the first thing that's happened to, but I wouldn't exactly lay that at Arteta's door and say, well done, Mikel. Do you know what I mean? I have this feeling because, I don't know, it came out of nowhere. It was like certain players hit form. Saliba came back. We went on a bit of a run. We got a couple of favourable decisions. I'm not saying we didn't deserve it, but I wouldn't say exactly that we were in full control all the time, because at the end of the season, we were rudderless. I mean, we just drifted from disaster to disaster. We were playing teams, no man, that were devoid of confidence, relegation battlers. So Hampton turned up at the Emirates. If we scored, I always say this and I hate repeating myself, if we had got the first goal, man, they would have disintegrated. If we had hit the front, they were 3-1 up against us in the 88th minute, and they were fighting relegation. Okay, they're fighting for their lives, but we had the players out there to do the job on them. I mean, regardless of Walcott, regardless of that, where's the excuse? What's the excuse for that? Arsenal fans out there, if any of you muppets are watching this, any of you guys, plastic fans, come on and tell me where's the excuse. What was the reason for that? We should have wiped the floor with them. We were going for the league. They were down in the relegation places. You're telling me we can't put them away? They hadn't won a game in 5. They had conceded 25 goals in the last 5 games or something, or the last 7 games. So why couldn't we put them away? I mean, it's not all Anfield and West Ham and Manchester City. Yeah. There was games there, but we should have just steamrolled them.
They'll come out with some bullshit excuse, mate. They always do. There'll be something like, oh, well, the players were tired. The players were, oh, well, you can't expect them to do. Well, they did try and all this bollocks. That's all you'll hear. And I don't want to hear they did try.
We were getting stuffed by a relegation team. We're going for the league. We were 3-1 up in the 88th minute.
And you know what? The players that we were getting stuffed by don't earn anywhere near as much money as the players that we've got. And I'm sorry, but the players are tired. Well, I don't want to hear the fucking, oh, the players were tired, or well, they did try. Bollocks, fuck off. Don't annoy me, because that's nonsense. The players didn't try. And whether they're tired or not, how can they be tired? They're not in the Europa League. They're out of the FA Cup. They knocked out the League Cup. We were told we had bigger fish to fry. You're playing 1 game a week. So you can't use, oh, well, they were tired, or fatigue kicks in.
We were the home team. The home team. The Bites were
playing at the Emirates.
They had to travel to us.
Listen, at the end of the day, it's the same old, same old. whether the players were tired or not, I don't give a fuck if they were or not. At the end of the day, what subs can you make? Look at the bench. And the reason why we've got such a shit bench is because they never do enough in the transfer windows. You need, like, I don't know if you remember when we got absolutely pammed by bloody Man United in the Champions League. It must have been, what, 2007?
I remember it.
Yeah, we got
3-1,
absolutely.
I think it was. 3-1,
but we got absolutely
dominant.
embarrassed. We got embarrassed. Absolutely embarrassed at the Emirates, right?
Yeah.
And you look at, I always remember this. If you look at Manchester United, what they had on the pitch, and then they panned to their bench, and they said, Man United's bench costs more than the whole of the Arsenal team, including the subs. And they could replace players. You could take one player off and put. So at the time, they had players like Tevez and Rooney and all this. So you could take Rooney off, chuck Tevez on. You had like Nani and Evra. And like, this is what I'm talking about.
And Cristiano Ronaldo, and they had Ronaldo as well, I remember.
We've never got enough. Never got enough. We end up buying dross. We get a couple of good signings and buy a load of dross and put a load of dross around them. It happens all the time. It's happened for years. It's happened for years.
It's not a new thing. Yeah, it's not a new thing. It's just
it does need to change. But I just think to myself, like, if it did change, would it change? If you know what I mean, would it change? Would it be allowed to change?
And what's Arteta's feeling on this? I mean, is he happy to stay at a club where I think the decision is taken out of his hand with regard to signings to a certain degree with the money that's available? Is he happy to be in that position for his career at Arsenal? Doesn't he want more for himself? I mean, the penny drops with him. Yeah, he must see what you just said. He obviously realizes. So why is he painting a different picture? Why?
Well, if you remember rightly, when we sold Fabregas, he was one of the emergency signings on deadline day.
Yeah,
he signed Arteta. So he's probably seen all this, but then it's like history repeating. So as much as Arteta fucks me off at times, and he does fuck me off, I don't really blame him for everything, because I don't think he should have got a job. But you've got someone like Edu, who is the guy that's going out and getting our players. And let's be real, he's not doing a very good job of it, is he? Let's be honest. He doesn't do enough. I mean, he's doing stupid things like going on holiday when the transfer window is about to open, and you can actually talk to players now and get deals done, like you said previously with Alex McAllister, tongue-tied now. McAllister from Brighton's going to Liverpool. That deal's already done. It's just going to be out on transfer when the transfer window opens. He could be here sorting stuff out now, and he's not. It's that kind of I don't give a fuck attitude. And and when he comes out with things like, we won't get into a bidding war. Why? Why won't you get into a bidding war? We've got money. Fucking spend it. They've told you, here's the money, spend it. Do what you need to do with it. And he won't do it. He doesn't do what needs to be done.
And they don't have, like, I don't want to sound stupid, but they don't actually have social skills, man. Like back in the day when David Dean bumped into Arsene Wenger, and Arsene Wenger was, in Japan, I think, but he came over, he was in London, they met up at some event, and Dean said, all right, do you want to come back to my place? And he was like, for a drink with myself and the missus. Because Wenger was on his own in London, and Wenger was like, actually, I'm busy tonight, and Dean said, what about tomorrow night? Lo and behold, you know what I mean? He sent a car out for him, took Wenger from his hotel, brought him to the house. Wenger turned up. They had a discussion about football. They kept in contact. Now that's building good relations. Next minute, Wenger turns up and is our best manager ever. I mean, there doesn't seem to be anybody like David Dean around anymore that actually has social skills, that realizes that things like that can happen in football. You could really bump into a manager, whomever, have a chat. I mean, bring him around. We could do better than Mikel Arteta. No respects to Mikel. Like you said, it's not all his fault. But I mean, we're falling back on a guy that really was untried and untested, and he's using us as like a sounding board. Yeah, Arsenal is like for him like the apprenticeship. I get it. Yeah, it's like the apprentice with fucking your man Sugar. All right, but we don't have time for that because it's already been almost 20 years. We just seem to be slipping inside. And when Liverpool get it right, they bring in Klopp. They haven't won anything in maybe 15 years. All of a sudden, they turn it around. It's just an example, yeah? And they won the Champions League. They won the league. It doesn't matter if they don't win anything for the next 25. They won the Champions League and they won the league. This is real. This is happening. What about us? United. They all seem to be a bit more aggressive when it comes to pursuing what they want. And we tend to be passive. Passive. Why be like that? I mean, that's not the way forward. Watch what happens in the new season. No, man. Win the league. Are you joking me? What?
Well,
this was our chance. This season was our chance. It's done.
Yeah, of course. But do you know what? We are winning. We are winning with the PR merchants. We're the biggest winners in the whole PR system going. Right? We've gone from trust the process. We've gone from that to Project Youth, and we've gone to that to Phase 3. Where was Phase 2 and Phase 1? I don't know, but we've moved through 3 different things. We've gone from Arteta when he joined Arsenal saying he won't tolerate any bullshit, more or less. Not in them words, but that was the words that he basically meant in one of his press conferences. And so far, all I've seen is bullshit. So I'm not saying Arteta's to blame in all this. He's not. You know, it takes 2 to tango. And unfortunately, Edu did this with Emery. He shafted him, bought players that Emery didn't actually want.
Mm.
But then the funny thing was, I don't know if you remember when we signed. So when Arteta, say last summer, I think it was, we signed Marquinhos, didn't we?
Mm. No.
We could have had him on a free. Edu gave the club £3 million because he wanted to keep a good relationship with the club. Who are we going to buy from there? Realistically, what other players we're going to buy from there?
Business, man. It's business, and they would have given it to us like that.
He's on a backhander. I'm telling you, that guy's on a backhander. Somewhere down the line, he's on a backhander somewhere. Because it doesn't make sense. Why would you go out and buy all this dross? You say, oh, it's time for us to win trophies. It's time for us to do this. It's time for us to win things and win the league and win the Champions League and all this bollocks. But then you go out and buy all this dross. Fabio Vieira, Alex Runnison, Cedric Suarez.
The problem is as well, man. We seem to be like I should probably know this, yeah. But the problem is that we seem to be a team. Like it tends to be going in football that, like I remember back in the day, it was managers managing, players play. Now it's like former players come back to haunt us. You know what I mean? Edu and Arteta, right? Edu was more culpable than Arteta, in my opinion. But I don't know for a fact. I should probably know this being an Arsenal fan. But how the hell did Edu even get in that position in the first place? Like, is he the most qualified guy for the job? Like, what's he doing in that role? I understand Arteta with City, coaching badges, Pep, I get it. Then he came to Arsenal, former player, slipped under the radar because I said, oh yeah, Mikel Arteta, former player. But Edu, how did he get in that position? I don't know. I'll have to check it, man. How did he actually get that role at the club?
I don't know if it's 100%. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs, but part of me thinks, is it because he was part of the Invincibles? But with that, I mean, he didn't play as much as Henry. He didn't play as much as Bergkamp. He didn't play as much as Gilberto and all these other players. He was more like...
He doesn't have the same standing as the man.
Right. He was more...
the same standing in the game.
He didn't start every game and he didn't play every game. So it's like, you know, had it been like a Vieira or a Bergkamp or
one of the superstars there.
Yeah, I could understand it. But when I see a dude, I was like, a bit underwhelmed. Like, you know, don't get me wrong. He was a good player at times. You know, he was a bits player. Do you know what I mean? He weren't like someone that played all the time. He came in and done bits now and then. So I was a bit underwhelmed with that, and I was like, it doesn't seem right. I'd expect someone of a higher caliber to do that. As an Arsenal fan, some fans need to shut the fuck up tonight. Stop tweeting. I thought he was going to say me when he said shut the fuck up.
The gold Premier.
Yeah, stop tweeting and go Premier League. Go to sleep and Treble. It's something special. Stop embarrassing yourself. Oh, I guess the dickheads are going online and giving it a large on Twitter. Oh, it's yours gold. Fuck off. Morons. And Dave's frozen. Arsenal forever, absolutely. These people are fucking idiots.
Like the gold premier, yeah, we went undefeated. Yeah, we have the gold trophy. But that was back in 2004.
Why are we still bragging about that? It doesn't make any sense. I wouldn't understand why we'd still keep using that, playing that like card. I mean, surely we've played that too many times now. Stupid. And this is the problem. The fan base, they're happy to deal with mediocre, and then they give it a large, like when City do the treble. There's yours gold. These are the little. Oh, anyway, I won't say too much more. And Dave's gone. Oh, is he coming back? You got Arsenal in.
Let's switch Wi-Fi.
You got in, using the Arsenal internet.
I'm using the Arsenal internet. Yeah, I have the little. I got it. Like I have to top it up every week at like £200, and then put it in the laptop. No, but fuck. Honestly, like Arsenal forever, our fan base is a joke. Yeah, we need to stop harping on about 2004. We need to stop harping on about the Invincibles. We need to look at the here and now. Dave's Wi-Fi is in phase 3 mode. But we need to stop harping on about the Invincibles. We need to stop harping on about this and about that. We need to really look at things and realize, you know, I mean, look at tonight. Football is passing us by. Certain things in the game are becoming redundant. The game is changing completely. I mean, even Arsene Wenger in his pomp would be hard-pressed now to land the title with that kind of competition against you and with that kind of financial... I don't know, man. Seriously, I mean, like you said, we're buying players that aren't quite up to scratch. We're making do.
Sorry.
There's quality players out there, man. Like Liverpool got your man from Brighton. There are Mitoma. There are a lot of quality players out there. Ward Prowse. Premier League experience. I like that. You know what I mean? I'm always blowing on about Ivan Toney. Premier League experience, man. That's what we need. Players that have Premier League experience.
A couple of things that you said there were spot on, right? First thing was, you said about the whole, like, you know, we're falling behind. But this has been going on for years. This was going on when Wenger was at Arsenal. And the thing is, the club gave Wenger too much control. Wenger hired his own boss, Ivan Gazidis. That's insane. He had too much. He was there too long. Wenger should have gone when we lost the Champions League final.
Yeah,
that's when he should have gone.
2006.
Yeah, that to me was when he was done, and he was just coasting the rest of the time. But this has been going on for years. It's not like a new thing. Like it's, you know, getting dross players and you know, Wenger's, as much as I love Wenger for what he did for the club, he did a lot of good for the club. But he also fucked us up big time and put us behind so long. And now I think it's going to be tough for anyone to come in and do anything, because I kind of wonder, well, I remember ages ago when Emery got sacked that Mourinho was at the ground before he went for the Tottenham job, and they were on about bringing Mourinho in to manage Arsenal because Freddie Ljungberg was interim manager, and he sort of, part of the reason he didn't was because he wasn't allowed to do what he wanted. So what does that say? Would any manager be able to do what they want? How far high up does this go? Because is it all Arteta's fault? Is it Edu? Is it the Cronkies? Like, what is it? Because it always seems like whenever I see that we're linked with players as well, like Caicedo, we nearly do it. We nearly get these players. We just couldn't do it. We couldn't get it over long. We tried. We did this. We did try. You know, we tried to get this player. We've heard it for years. Like Wenger was like, oh yeah, who was it? PSG. Fucking what's his name? Mbappe. Oh, I could have signed him. I went for dinner with his family. I nearly signed him. We nearly signed Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Remember when we went for Suarez? What was that like? We were a pound under. If we added a pound onto the 50 million,
I think it was
it
was either 40 or 45 million pounds and £1. And you're telling me that's a serious bid?
What was that about? Like, yeah, it was like a caricature.
It's
I mean,
to look like you're doing something. It's to look like you're doing something. And that's what I think this club does a lot of. We look like we're trying to get players, but really we're not that bothered. I'm sorry, but AFTV are a cancer. Yes, 100%. 100%. Can't stand AFTV, sorry.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, Dan. The way they treated some of their better... I'm not talking about DT because he had problems. I'm not going to go into it. I'm not talking about DT, but I mean some of the way they treated some of the other members at times. I don't know, man. Robbie isn't the worst guy in the world, but I mean, he definitely sold a few guys down the river as soon as the funding and the this and the that came into question, you know, like the sponsorship for the channel, and he was going to lose a bit of money and he was going to lose this and that. But I mean, why on earth? I mean, like you were saying about Wenger there, I mean, he should have left a long time ago. I agree with that. I mean, he did set us back in our recovery. I mean, I was loyal to Arsenal Football Club, not particularly Wenger at the end. Yeah, I was loyal to Arsenal and Arsenal. He overstayed his welcome. All those drubbings in the Champions League against Bayern Munich, all those trips to the Allianz Arena, we got absolutely stuffed. I mean, it was embarrassing.
Yeah,
that set us back, man. That set us back. That's all I'm trying to say. That set us back.
Yeah, no. I totally agree with everything you just said there. But it stems back to even when we made signings like Carl Jenkinson, because he had an Arsenal duvet in his bedroom.
Carl Jenkinson, my
God.
I'm better than him.
And we signed these players. Then we went to Old Trafford and got, what was it, 7-2? We got smashed 7-2. And Arteta was, I think, captain back then as well.
I mean to say, man. But we had more balls as well back in the day, man, even in Wenger's day. Because you remember when Sol Campbell came from Spurs to Arsenal? That would never happen now. We wouldn't have the cojones. We wouldn't have the balls to grab that opportunity. You know what I mean? It was like a different mindset. And that's what I wanted to say as well. The last couple of games that we played in the league, when it was up for grabs, I don't know what the physio was saying. I don't know what the trainer was saying. I don't know what the team doctor was saying. But the players were going out with a defeatist attitude. Well, lads, this is what they were saying to them. You've had a good season. That is fucking defeatist. They were going out there like champions, man. They were going out there like fucking, they were whipped. Who was putting that in their minds? It's 90% mental, man. Anything you do in life, it's 90% what you're thinking at the time. It's mental. It's belief. Roy Keane, okay, look, he had talent, but he dragged himself up there with the Zidanes, with the Juventus team they beat in the semi-final of the Champions League. They shouldn't have even been at that level. They shouldn't have been out of that game. It should have been game over. Juve should have went through. Roy Keane dragged the team by the scruff of the neck into the final. He got a yellow. Second yellow, he wasn't in the final now. The mentality, that's what it's all about. I mean, Arsenal players had it too. Vieira had it. Bergkamp could be a little bit nasty when he didn't have the ball. He had it. Henry had it. It wasn't all about ability, man. They went out in the ascendancy. Henry played with a lot of pomp. You know, he went out in the ascendancy. And the defenders were shuddering. They were terrified of him.
Yeah.
Drogba the same. It's about up here, man. And we went out there with this defeatist attitude in the last couple of games. Like, who set the players up like that? Okay, Saliba wasn't there. I get it. I understand. It changed the game plan. But the players, when they went out...
Yeah. But the thing is, like, you've sorry, I want to read this comment. Why do Arsenal fans get so triggered every time you speak the truth? Because they're little bitches, that's why. Sorry, but it's true. They fucked me off. Like, I've had youngsters who know nothing about the club, never seen us win a trophy, telling me, be happy. Be happy. We finished second, be happy. Fuck off.
What's there to be happy about?
Yeah. But, like, what was I going to say? I was going to say something that's completely gone out of my head now. I had a really good point to make. I've forgotten the point now. Oh, fuck.
It'll come to you. Don't think of it. I was the same a while ago. Honestly, man. Let's go on to the next comment here. Remember when Arsenal signed a player with a broken back?
Kim Källström.
Oh, yeah. Källström, yeah. Yeah, she wasn't too bad. He was better than most fellas, even though he had a broken back.
Yeah.
He was still better than Oleg Lushny.
Oh, fucking anyone's better than
Whoever
Oleg.
else was hanging around at the club at that time, I don't know.
Michael Stefanovs and players like that. Do you remember
yeah,
them?
Yeah. Oh my God,
God,
man.
there.
Like you said, man, Lichtsteiner. God help us. And Shaka. Oh man,
Look,
is he going or is he staying? What is it with Shaka? Is he
I've
going or is he
heard
staying?
mixed things now. It's like
One more season, I think.
Oh, well, I fucking hope not.
I think he's staying for one more season. Seriously, all joking
we
aside.
had him. Look, we've had him 7 years, and we've had one good season out of him in 7 years. We want this. This sums Arsenal Football Club up. They always look for the cheaper option. We could have got N'Golo Kante from Leicester before he went to Chelsea, and that's who we were linked with. We then decided to go for Granit Xhaka, the cheaper option. The cheaper option. This tells me this club isn't serious. Doesn't want to compete. Doesn't want to win things. You go out and try and get the best. I don't want to hear like, oh, well, you know, top four is a trophy, or, you know, well, we're going to be in the Champions League. Top four was priority. No, it wasn't. Listen, don't fucking bullshit a bullshitter, right? We were always in contention for the title. It was literally within touching distance, and we fucked it. And it ain't the first time. It won't be the last time.
Royally, man. We fucked it royally, and it was our one chance. We weren't like City. We weren't going on 3 different fronts. You know, we didn't have the FA Cup and we didn't have the Champions League. That's all we had. Our full attention and concentration and everything should have been channeled towards that. Like I said, there was a little defeatist attitude going on in the players' heads because the way they went out, that is the only way. Like, I mean, against West Ham, Thomas Partey, I mean, Declan Rice you're up against Declan Rice. He's your opposite number. Don't be trying to play the ball around and trying to play it around him like he's not there. He's not an idiot, Rice. He snuffed the ball out. He picked it up. That's where the pressure came. I think that was when they got the penalty, or it set up the chance, and then Jared Bowen later on. I mean, he's trying to mug off Declan Rice in the middle of the park. Declan Rice was standing right on his shoulder. He was picking his pockets. Don't try to flick the ball around the man when he's breathing down your neck. Get a hold of it. Put your body between him and the ball. Get a hold of it and move it as quickly away from him as you can. He's trying to mug off Declan Rice in the midfield.
He's looked like a fish out of water for a while.
God, man, seriously.
He's looked like a fish out of water for a little while, and it's a little bit embarrassing, to be honest, because you know you think we paid his release clause. He was the dog's bollocks at fucking Atletico, and it's like we've signed a different player. Like I don't know what's happened to that player. He's been injured constantly. I've never known someone to have so many injuries. But that seems to be a problem as well. Like, why do players get so injured so much all the time? Like,
which way are they training them? Yeah, which way are they training them? Are they running on concrete or what are they doing? I mean, what the hell are they doing? Are they diving on their knees and training when they score a goal? I mean, what are they doing?
Yeah, well, that'd be a bit of a silly thing, wouldn't it? But it's like Aaron Ramsey used to be exactly the same. Always injured. Come on, have like a good run of games for about 4 or 5 games, and then was injured. Van Persie made of glass. Jack Wilshere, another one, made of glass. Why were these players that are so good always fucking injured? Emil Smith-Rowe, another one. He's injured all the time, and when he does get a chance to play, he doesn't get a game.
He started pre-season training already, like I think like maybe last week, Smith-Rowe, because he's missed so much and he's had such a problem. He's trying to get himself fit. He's already started pre-season. He's a player I like, Smith-Rowe. I'm not going to lie. I have a lot of time for that young fella. Yeah. He's injury prone, okay, grand, but I like that, man. I got no problem with him. Like, he deserves a shot to play in the team as much as, I mean, at least when he's in there, he'll put his shoulder in. He'll actually put his shoulder out and he'll back into someone and he'll try to upset him physically. Like Fabio Vieira is like the size of Smith-Rowe's leg. You know what I mean? Sure, what's he going to do? Smith-Rowe is a bit robust, though. He's boisterous. Yeah? Like when he bursts through, through like a tank. He doesn't have the deft touch or the drop of the shoulder of Saka. He's just like a panzer. He'll just storm forward with his head down. You know what I mean? But sure, he punches a hole through the defence. I mean, he's all right, man. I like him.
I do. He's got something about him. Do you know what I mean? And he's like, he ain't scared to have a go either and have a shot
He'll have a
outside
crack,
the
yeah.
box.
He'll have a
Or,
crack. And he's a strong man. He's a strong man.
Yeah.
He's got strong legs. He's got a big body. I mean, we got like guys out there that are like twiglets. Odegaard is a twiglet. Vieira is, I'm way bigger than Odegaard. You're much bigger and stronger than him. I mean, there comes a time in every game, man, where there's that 10 or 15 minute it gets physical. And against Liverpool, we got blown away. I mean, in the physicality of it. Jesus, you've got Henderson in there, and we've got Odegaard. I mean, are you being serious? Like, it's one thing being able to play lovely football, but who is the enforcer? Who is the Petit? You know, Petit was a real hard man when he had to be. He was a real tough nut.
Yeah.
I mean, I never seen Keane once ever standing up to him. And Petit played clean. When he went in on a tackle, it was a clean tackle. He took the ball and put it out, and he got on with the game. There was no cuddling players and putting your DMs, man. How are you getting on? You know, they're too friendly now in football as well, man. Guys kiss each other's holes at halftime.
Prime example was Odegaard and Haaland.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
When we played them at the Emirates, and all fucking laughing and joking with each other and having a chat at the halfway line. You're like,
I'm sure things are going Haaland's way, not our way. It was going their way, not ours.
I'm like, what are you doing? Like, we're going into battle with you. Why are you talking to him? Why, it should be like, I don't want to fucking talk to you. I'll talk to you after the game. At the moment, fuck off. Don't talk to me. You're the enemy.
Yeah.
No, they're too. Everyone's too nice. Everyone's too nice at Arsenal.
I put that one up already. Stan Kroenke said he didn't even buy into Arsenal to win trophies. Yeah, of course. He only cares about the Nuggets or whoever he owns over in the United States.
He takes a consultancy fee as well.
Mm.
What for?
Mm.
I don't think it's Stan's club anymore. Anyway, I think it's Josh's now.
Yeah. He's handed it over to his son.
You don't really see him at the games as much anymore.
He's across the water, sure, most of the time. He's over in the US, so you know what I mean? He comes over on occasion, but he's in the US. Maybe he wants to go to Gordon Ramsay's new restaurant up to Kensington High Street or up to King's Road, or maybe he's up at Chelsea. But did you see as well that David Beckham, this is going slightly off here, but you know David Beckham now, he owns actually Inter Miami. Inter Miami. Do you see he actually got rid of Philip Neville because Philip Neville was on a bad run as coach. Even Beckham knows, now these two guys were in the team as youngsters, along with Gary and Scholes and Butt. Like you and me remember these guys, you know, this golden generation for United, Fergie's babes, whatever you want to call them. He still got rid of him, man. I mean, that's what you need to have about you. It wasn't working out. It was nothing personal. It wasn't going well. Beckham got rid of him. You know what I mean? He didn't leave him in there for 23 years and hold his hand and tell him everything was going to be all right. Do you know what I mean? That's what we need too, man. We need somebody in there like respect the Beckham, man. He didn't let friendship get in the way of actually what was best for the interest of the club.
That's the problem. Like I hear what you're saying. The fan base is a major part of the problem. Expecting mediocrity. The team has to be built on purpose to win. Yeah, but they expect. That's the thing. They expect to do. It's like I don't understand. Where's the time scale for the point I want to make? Right. It sounds. I'm going to stop going around the houses with that comment. It's a spot on comment. But it just I kind of wonder where the time scale is, because since Arteta's been here, you know, we want to build a team that's going to win things and do this. And he's been there 4 or 5 years. He's had not so much Arteta, but Edu as well. Spent how much money have we spent since Arteta's been there? Like nearly $500 million or something.
More than any other team, I believe.
Yeah,
believe that or not, Joe. We spent more than any other team in the Premier League.
We've spent a good chunk of money, but we've not seen any results. So we've signed, like I said, the prime example. I don't want to keep going over it, but like when I say like we've signed a load of shit two summers ago, which I wasn't wrong, and half of them are either out on loan or going to be sold off. You know, why did we spend all that money on a load of dross, which we knew weren't going to be any fucking good? Why not actually think to ourselves, like, let's try and compete. Let's sell the plan to all these players and what we want to do, like your Madisons, like your, I don't know, we could have had Basuma at one point, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Like your Caicedos, but go out there and just sell this like vision that you have, that you want to this is what we want to do. You can be a massive part of this. You will fit into this team. You will be part of this in about maybe 2.5 years' time. We'll be Premier League champions. Sell it to them, and that's what I want to know. What are you doing when you go to? Yeah, well, we want to bring you in. We don't know where we're going to be. We don't know what we're going to do. That's the kind of impression I get when they're going to get these players, and that's why they fuck off to other teams. That's why we won't get anyone decent. That's why we end up in London.
We were taking a lot of in respects to the players. I sound like an asshole when I say this. We were taking a lot of has-beens. Willian from Chelsea.
Absolutely.
I mean, we were taking guys that weren't fit to. I mean, there's a reason they were giving him to us. I mean, he was like Agent Willian. That's what a Chelsea friend of mine was saying to me. You've got Agent Willian. He's going to ruin you. But Willian, in the end, was the guy that actually stepped up and said to Edwin Arteta, look, never mind about the rest of my wages. I will leave the club. You don't need to pay them, and I'll just go, because he knew it was for the best of the club. If he didn't do that, they probably would have said have coffee mornings with him, and he's one of the lads coming around to their house for a bit of dinner, and leave him in the team and keep paying him his wages. I mean, it was going to cost us an arm and a leg. Mesut Ozil, another guy. I mean, Ozil just cares about money. And he wasn't exactly the best player in the world. I mean, when he was at Arsenal, he was crap, in my opinion.
He was dog shit.
No, he was crap. Even worse than the card when the fight came. When a fight came by, he didn't have the will for it. He used to fade. Like against Liverpool's midfield, Ozil used to just be like a lamb, sheep.
I mean, you know, it needed when we had Ozil, we needed some missing posters to go up, because like he signed in 2013 and he'd gone missing ever since.
Yeah.
Like,
he loves money.
Yeah, well, he's got his own clothing brand and everything, you know. He cares more about that than he does football. And he's Twitch streaming, playing Fortnite.
And what I couldn't understand was when he would put in a terrible performance and we would get mashed. And our season was practically over at that point because of those performances of his. Yeah, he would come out, and then the next minute he's on Instagram. He's with the bird. He's playing the PlayStation. He's relaxing at the pad. The Benz is outside. The Rolls is pulling in. They're off to the restaurant. He's playing a quick game of FIFA. He's posted on Instagram after a game like that, and he's happy in his life.
And do you know the only one?
Just goes to show you, man.
Do you know the only one that had a set of balls to say, right, fuck it, you're on the bench or you're in the reserves, was Emery. The only one, because he had a bad, like, he was a fucking bad influence around the club. But what was the point? I was going to say something. Oh, I've forgotten now. Fuck. It's too much talking. That's why I keep forgetting.
About Mesut Ozil? No.
No. It's about something else. I can't remember now. Fuck. It's gone. It's gone out of my head. I had a really good point to make and I've forgotten it.
Don't think about it. It'll come back. Just try not to think about it. But I don't know what's going on with like a demonstration or anything planned at the club. But is that all a thing of the past? Like the Black Scarf movement? Is that still going on? Or because I would go to a demonstration. I mean, I know it might not achieve much, but let's at least put some kind of modicum of pressure on them that maybe they take notice. Arteta has spent 500 million, 8th, 5th, 2nd, 1 final in 4 seasons, 3 European exits at home, 15 trophies bottled, 8 points clear to finish 5 points behind. We finished 5 points behind because City took the foot off the gas. It would have been 10. You know what I mean? More. A 13-point swing. The swing is about an 18-point swing in the end, but City just to the end they just cruised over the line. Like in the Brighton game, this wonder goal from Enciso. City weren't even. They just took a point and they went off out of it. That wasn't City. You know what I mean? Is what I'm saying. It would have been a much more than a 5-point win for them. The league was wrapped up 2 games before or 3 games before, so they weren't pushing all the way to the finish line. You know what I mean? They were saving something for the Champions League and the FA Cup. Anyway, look.
What do you think? What do you think next season? Do you think? I mean, personally, I still don't think we'll go out. I don't think we'll get both of either Caicedo or Rice. I think we'll get one or the other. I think it's more likely we'll get Rice than Caicedo. But realistically, what sort of signings do you think we'll make, and where do you think we'll end up? Because I don't think we'll do anywhere near enough.
I'm not expecting us even to get Rice or Caicedo, I'll be honest, and I don't want to sound crazy when I say that. Maybe we might get Rice, but I honestly don't think we're going to get either of them. I think just the fact that Rice won the Europa Conference League, I think has attracted the interest of a lot of other different clubs. And I think we would be down the pecking order. I don't think we're going to get either of those players. That is a bold statement, but I stand by it. Yeah. If someone turns out to me and says, "Told you so" a week later, you know what, I'll take it on the chin. But I don't think we're going to get either of those players. We have got the Champions League coming up. I mean, Earth to Edu, fucking hell, man. It's completely different to the Europa League, a completely different level. I don't think we're going to make it out of the group. This is not all doom and gloom, man. This is me being realistic. I think it's going to be one hell of a challenge for us to just get out of the group. And I don't think we're going to make it out of our group in the Champions League. I don't care what anyone fucking says. The only reason that we won't is because we're not used to that level of competition in Europe. It's a step up, and it's going to be our first season back.
Yeah.
We might scrape out of the group, but man, we might scrape it. I'm not expecting much. I don't care who's in the group. We're not used to that level of competition. It's been so long. The players we have are weak sometimes. Not all of them, but I honestly am not expecting much. I think it's going to be a struggle for us to get out of the group. We're not going to win the league. We're not going to win the FA Cup. Look, prove me wrong, Arteta, man. Come on, prove me wrong. But he won't, and I know he won't, and I know the players won't. I
think the problem, look, Arteta needs to stop disrespecting every cup competition. Exactly.
Cup is a cup, man. A win is a win. I'll take anything. I don't care.
I mean, Lee Gunner. I was watching Lee Gunner the other day, and he was talking to I forget the guy's name now. He does the Football Terrace. I forget his name. Terry.
Used to be Terry and Claudia.
And he even said, like, look, you know, United have had a better season than Arsenal, which they have. They've won, you know, people mug off, and Arsenal Fan TV mugged off the Kabara Cup. It's a cup, it's a competition. You've won something. We've won nothing. Mate, I'd take that all day long. What's wrong with that? And then, like, people are mugging off. Oh, well, we've got bigger fish to fry. Remind them of this next season when we get knocked out of the Champions League. Remind them of this when we get absolutely fucking trounced against one of the bigger teams.
The thing is, right? Sorry, man, keep going.
Remind them of, like, when we don't win the league next season, we end up 5th or 6th. You know, this is the mentality of the fans that, like, they're so happy to settle for bullshit. Like, I've seen life before Arsene Wenger. George Graham was manager when I started supporting Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? I've seen the likes of, you know, Michael Thomas, Alan Smith, Tony Adams, Steve Bold, Nigel Winterburn, Lee Dixon, John Lukic in goal. When we went to Anfield and did the impossible, I've seen all this. Like, these fuckers probably don't even know anything about it because they haven't seen any history. And the reason they haven't seen any history is because we haven't had any to fucking brag about. And then they go on about, oh, yeah, we'll be happy. We come second.
Yeah, man. Like, in my opinion, I mean, like, part of the reason that we have this problem with the team reacting like they did, I said, like, with this mentality, is because maybe they know that they're not going to be held accountable when this happens. Also, I mean, honest to God, I mean, the fans, like he's saying about the fan base there right earlier, and also the cup competitions. Look, if we had slipped into 4th place, Champions League football, after we had been in 7th for most of the season, happy days, man. Happy days. But when we had been up there at number 1 for so much of the season, and I don't want to say this 93% thing again, but we've been up there for that long, and to slip down into 2nd, I don't care if it's 2nd or 4th, I don't care, because it's no league title. Do you understand? It doesn't matter. Well, we came 2nd. Who gives a fuck? 2nd is nowhere. Champions League, you can get 4th place, 3rd place, 2nd place. So who cares where we finish up if we don't come 1st? While we came 2nd. Who cares? Who cares?
This is it. The mentality. Sorry, I've a really bad feeling about Arsenal's summer transfer window. I can't lie. At last summer transfer window, yes, we got Jason.
Penny drops, man. The penny drops.
But still wasn't enough. No, this is the thing. Like, we needed a proper striker. Like, no disrespect to Jesus, he's not a proper striker. He's not an out-and-out striker. Zinchenko.
No, he's not. We needed at least 20 goals a season for us.
But Zinchenko's not a left back. We didn't buy a striker. We could have bought. There's so many options we could have gone for.
And what's this thing about sending off Tierney? I mean, that is a bad decision, man, to sell Tierney. We're going to rely on Zinchenko. Who else is coming in then? Who else is going to come in? If Tierney goes, we need a replacement because not every game is suited to Zinchenko. The Liverpool game was not suited to him. The Southampton game was not suited to him.
To me, Tierney should start every game no matter what. To me, I'm so pissed off that they've literally just pushed him to my side and then they even put like Kivior at left back. How much of a slap in the face is that to Kieran Tierney?
Mm.
The guy's won things. I know he hasn't won much at Arsenal, but he's won the league and everything at Celtic.
Mm.
The guy's a winner.
Not giving him game time, man. Not giving him game time. Of course, it looks disjointed when he comes on. He hasn't played in 10 games.
But then we treat him
like shit. Anyway, kick the ball all over the line.
And we treat him like shit.
Zinchenko can't defend, man. He cannot defend.
Zinchenko's not a left back. He's not. He's a fucking centre mid. He's not a left back. He keeps running to the centre mid. He's got that's why Martinelli looks so fucking bang average this season because he hasn't got that overlap between him and Tierney.
They're strong on the left together.
So he's out. He's sort of isolated on the left.
Because Zinchenko's cutting up through the middle, no? Inverted, yeah. This fantastic saying, yeah.
It means nothing. William Saliba will officially wear the number 2 shirt next season. I'm just glad we've got a decent centre back. Like we need to get, we do need to get rid of Edward, but I mean, I'm just glad that that's done now because I'm not going to lie, I was worried that he was going to fuck off to Real Madrid or PSG or
me too.
Like that. And he could get into any of them teams. That's the thing.
Yeah, he could. He's a brilliant player.
He's absolutely he's world class, mate. But if we lost him, it'd be panic stations.
It just seems sometimes like we're on a shoestring budget. I honestly think that the money is not there. The money is not being made available to get the players that we need. Then what is the point of competing at all? String us along like a bunch of fools. And last season, maybe we got lucky and we hit a bit of a purple patch. But in the end, it told. We just kind of, honestly, man. Let's see, Arsenal forever. 89, 91, 98, 2002, 2004 is where I want Arsenal to be. Not 88, 5th, 2nd, and they are all losers. Now, the way they didn't put in a bit of a fight when the going got tough and when Saliba went out injured for me is the most damning thing you could say about the squad. Certain players, I mean, at one point, Reece Nelson was actually leading the line and he was the one that was showing a bit of fight. And Reece Nelson, yeah. He was showing a bit of fight and with Gussie, but the rest of them, they were just rolling over. You know what I mean? Whereas Nelson actually went out and he got stuck in a couple of those games towards the end when the rest of them were just. I mean, what is? I mean to say, man. I mean, come on. Arteta needs to stop with this inverted nonsense. I'm hearing if Caicedo does sign, Arteta will play him as an inverted right back. Seriously. You see, the problem with Arteta is he doesn't realise that. But Pep was the man pulling the strings at City, not him. He was making the tea. But also, Pep has players that are 4 times as good as some of the Arsenal players. So you can play that role, yeah? You can play that role. Like the Dutch team before Total Football used to interchange positions back in the day, yeah? But they had a different caliber of players. Don't play a system if you don't have the players. The caliber of player that you need to play that system. It doesn't make sense. And we are not on a level with City. He's looking at Pep and he's looking at City. That's what he has, yeah? That's a yardstick, Arteta. We can't do what they do and we can't play like they play. Because we don't have the personnel. So this inverted nonsense has to stop. We're going to get ripped to shreds. I mean, defensively, we do not have Rodri in midfield that is going to get stuck in and go to the ground and win the ball like he did tonight many times. I don't know if you see it. Yeah, he took man, ball, and everything else with him. And he made sure the guy did not get past him. He made sure the ball was at his feet. We don't have that. So what are we going to do?
I don't know, mate. I
literally Xhaka and the rest of these clowns and sorry to cut across them, man. But you know what the problem was as well? When we were pushing for the league and when we started to come undone, nobody was speaking up within the camp. I mean the players. Look at yourself in the mirror. Go home and ask yourself a question. Go out on the field the next day and give it. They had plenty of opportunities. There was plenty of games to get it back. And they went from one disaster to another. What are they doing when they're at home? They don't go home and slam the fucking front door. I'd take the door off. I'd be so fucking angry with myself. Next time I'd go out, man, I'd put in a shift and we would win. I
Do you
knew
know?
when Brighton got stuffed, yeah. What game did Brighton lose? Yeah, they lost the game. They got beaten. Was it by Chelsea maybe? And I knew the next league game was against us. I went like this. Oh no, because they came out in that game against us, and they did what a team normally does. They had a reaction, and they beat us. Okay, we weren't going too well, but we had no reaction like that. When they got beaten like that, I remember thinking, I think it was Leicester beat them, but I remember thinking, oh God, because I knew they were going to come out and the Zerbi was going to get them G'd up, and they were going to hit the ground running, and we were next in line. I said, fuck, we're going to lose. I knew it. I knew off the bat. We had no reaction like that. None. Zero. Nothing. Tell me why, man. Why, like? What is the problem with them?
Well, I'll first go back to a point. Fella's got to go now. I had too much rum and coke. Yeah.
What?
Fair
Go
play.
on with your rum and coke, will you? For God's
Fair
sake.
play. Fair
You
play.
wake up in the morning by full of regrets. Full of regrets. You'll be going through the messages now. I was seeing what he said later on. You'll be going through it now tomorrow. I can't believe I wrote that. I'm only joking, man.
Cheers for joining us, though, bud. Thank you.
Just don't send any more nudes, okay, or anything like that, man, because we've seen enough of them. I mean, it's disgrace. I actually had to block half of them on my side. Yeah, I was like block, 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 block.
Oh,
block,
I've kept them on my side. I'm putting them on the internet later.
Yeah, let's try to make some money. We can
Get
say
some money out of that.
we can say Edu forced them into it. Edu's got a. I better keep this quiet. I'm actually going to get sued. I'd say taking a court. I better stop there. Slander, isn't that what they call it? Slanderous accusations.
Terrible.
Anyway,
Terrible.
respects to Man City, man, and respects to West Ham, and respects to Man City for beating United in the FA Cup final. We would have never heard the end of it. But yeah, people are saying which treble is better, 99 or no. They're both the same, guys.
I have to
Treble
say,
is treble. Who
I'd say
is coming out with this treble business? It's the same, lads.
Do you know what? I'd actually say the Man United one, in all honesty, and I'll say why. They didn't have the Qatar money. They didn't have all the oil money. They had actually homegrown players that went out and done it.
And they had to dig deep, like in the semi-final against Juve. They came up against one of the greatest teams ever. That Juventus team was from keeper to the front line, 1 to 11. That Juve team they were something. They were top of the line. They were home and hosed until Roy Keane stepped in with that header. You know what I mean? I mean, seriously, man. And with the younger players they had in the group come in, and there was less money for them. They had a good manager too, though. Yeah? I mean, let's be fair. Ferguson was on it. He was on it. But I couldn't believe that Inzaghi, the coach for Inter, I don't know if you heard it in the commentary, but he was one game away from getting the sack. The next minute he gets them, then a complete turnaround, a bit like Ferguson back in the day, and then a complete turnaround and takes them to the Champions League final. They finished third in the league. Yeah, I was looking at it earlier before the game started. Yeah, Napoli won the league with 90 points. Who came second? The team that came second, Lazio. Lazio came second with 74, and then came Inter with 72, and then it came AC with 70. But Inter actually finished third, in the league. I mean, after having such a bad start, and they came third, But
wow.
So they will be in the Champions League again, But yeah, he was one game away from losing his job, Inzaghi. And then after they beat AC, they were one game away from winning the Champions League.
Do you know what though? The thing is, you never know. It might be a different manager next season.
Yeah,
the thing.
It could well be. Could well be.
You know, if he's had such a shit season previous to that, what's to say he's not going to do it again?
Yeah. They kind of picked up in the second half, but like I said, he was one defeat away from.
Oh yeah, look, you know, he's had an all right season. If you finish third, that's not so bad, I suppose.
Yeah.
But what I remember the Italian football used to be. It was always between AC and Inter all the time.
Yeah.
No, it was like, you know, PSG, like, you know, they're the only ones that really win the league over there. You know, it's that sort of thing. But
domination.
Yeah, I mean, for him to, I don't know. I think he might still get the sack, to be fair.
Yeah, and like at the end of the day, they didn't win the league. I don't think they won the Italian Cup. They did not win the Champions League. They got Champions League qualification. Yeah, same as us. Maybe Arteta needs to get the sack too.
I think, yeah. I mean, going back to a point you made earlier on, when you said about the players, they just don't seem to give a shit. There's no one sort of says anything like,
Yeah, and the fans as well are accepting of it, man. That's another problem.
Yeah, but then do you think Tony Adams or anyone like that would have settled for that back in the day?
Of course not.
No, because they're proper captains. We've got a captain on the pitch that doesn't do captaincy. Who takes, when you see them all huddled up on the halfway line before the game starts or whatever. You all right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, I'm on about Odegaard. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. No, it's Odegaard.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Odegaard doing it. Yeah, I'm like, oh, man.
It's fucking Xhaka that does it. Odegaard just stands there. Or Zinchenko does it. It's like, you're the captain. Why is no one, like you say, no one rallies the troops?
Yeah. This is water, by the way. Yeah, this is water.
Yeah, that wasn't.
I'm not throwing away sorrows. I know it's when you said about the huddle. It was Odegaard doing the huddle on the team. Like, we're meant to respond. He was the guy that was playing worse than everybody, and he was telling them, like Xhaka back in the day. Yeah, Xhaka telling no, come on, guys. It was Zinchenko. Zinchenko, after those terrible performances, he was giving the team talk. He was the one that was playing the worst.
I personally
Zinchenko,
think,
man.
I think when we signed him, I thought, oh, great signing. I have no regrets, bro. I want Arsenal back to where they were winning silverware. Fans disrespect the Carrara Cup. I don't know, neither do I. And we shouldn't disrespect it. A trophy's a trophy. Exactly. These are the same fans that think winning the Community Shield's a trophy. It's not. It's a charity game. It's nothing.
I used to love when we won that, and I was proud of it. And because a lot of the times when you play the Charity Shield, these younger fans probably don't even know what time of day it is. Yeah, they're still wearing nappies. But when you play the Charity Shield, it is league against cup. So if we won the FA Cup, we're going up against City. So when you beat them in the Charity Shield, it's not the trophy itself. You are beating the champions. Do you know what I mean? You are beating a team of note. You're not beating a bunch of nobodies. You're not beating the team that came last. You're beating the team that came first.
We've played pretty much, yeah. I mean, well, look, I mean, with the League Cup, like it gets so much disrespect. I've never understood it, and it's like, you've got to play all these teams to get to the final. It's like any competition. So, all right, not the Champions League, but I mean, it's like any competition. Like, I remember when Arsenal won that and the FA Cup when we beat Sheffield Wednesday in '93.
Yeah, I remember that.
It wasn't a Mugs Cup then, so why is it a Mugs Cup now? Why is
it the Coca-Cola? Yeah, was it?
It was the Coca-Cola Cup, and it was.
We beat them in a replay. Yeah, we beat them in a replay.
Yeah, we played them in a replay, and that's when Tony Adams picked up Stevie Morrow and he dropped him and broke his arm.
Yeah.
I mean, like, why does that get so much disrespect? I've never understood that. It's a trophy.
We can't afford to be choosy these days, man. I mean, like, next season we're not going to win anything if we're in that mentality. We're not going to win the Champions League. We're not going to win the league. FA Cup. City are just. They have a stranglehold there. They're not the only team, though. United are going to be back under Ten Hag. Liverpool are coming strong.
Chelsea.
Newcastle are up there. Spurs might do something, man, with their coach. He is a good coach.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I worry, like, it's going to get to a point where we're not going to spend the right amount of money to get the players we need. Tony Adams was the greatest captain there. 100%, mate. Couldn't agree more.
And he had adversity in his life, man. He didn't have it all plain sailing. The man was, like, had
a lot of problems. But he was the best captain
we ever had. Demons. Yeah, exactly. The man had principles. You know what I mean?
I mean, he wouldn't be putting up with this shit. He wouldn't put up with mediocre performances, throwing games away. He'd grab you by the scruff and have a go at you, like, you know.
And when we used to play Newcastle, I remember we had a couple of clashes with Newcastle in League and in the FA Cup. Remember that FA Cup final victory, I think 1998, when we did the double?
He pocketed Shearer the whole game.
Exactly. When someone came along like Shearer, worthy of his attention, like Bobby Moore against Pele back in the day, when Pele and Bobby Moore met. When someone came along, worthy of his attention, Adams was supreme. I mean, he even got the better of the great Alan Shearer, and Alan Shearer is a great striker. Seriously, man, he's a fan. I'm a fan of his. Thunderous player.
Yeah.
So that was Adams for you, man. We don't have someone out there that can do that. And at that level, as a player, in fairness, we also don't have a player at that level. Saliba is a very good player, but I don't think leadership-wise, look, he's a young guy, yeah, it's going to take time. But with Saliba, you can actually build a team that can win the title. We can, with him, but he can't do it alone. And if he gets injured, wow, we just come undone, is it?
The problem, yeah, exactly, and that's what will happen. Charity Shield is one. Charity Shield is one big silver plate. Imagine how much food you could put on the plate, mate. I could probably smash through all that food on the plate.
Buy that rum and coke, boy. I tell you, I'll have to go on the rum and coke myself.
Mate, he's got a point. There's a big old plate in it. You could put a lot of food on it.
Yeah, I gotta go to work tomorrow. Otherwise, I'd be putting food on that plate as well. The rum and coke. I've got my Charity Shield. I'll be walking down there like outside my place, Charity Shield. You know what I mean? With my dinner on a plate and my rum and coke. Yeah, I gotta get some of that rum and coke, boy. Let me go and get some rum and coke. The little Jack and Coke cans, you know, like do it easy. Like the little ready-made mixed. The lazy option.
Yeah, but it's easier.
Yeah, you're on the spin. You're on the spin. Yeah, man. Seriously, I mean, you think City are going to win the league next season? I mean, surely they will.
Yeah, I do. I think if Liverpool go out and do what needs to be done, which I reckon they will, I reckon it'll be between them two again. I don't think we'll get a look in next season. Yeah. I don't think we'll do enough for next season, unfortunately.
What about Man U?
Man U, I think it all depends on who's going to be owning them. If they get Qatar money, they can go out and do what needs to be done. If they get Sir Jim Radcliffe money, I don't think they'll get anywhere near what needs doing, because if you look at Nice,
been dragging on a bit. It's been kind of growing arms and legs.
But he doesn't give a fuck about Nice, and he owns that club.
Yeah.
So, and they're not doing great. So I can't imagine he's really going to benefit them at United. I got a feeling it's still going to be the Glazers in charge, but I think the Qatarian guy, I don't know his name. Sorry, it escapes me. But I think he's happy to leave the Glazers in charge, which is mental to me, because they're the problem.
Yeah.
I mean,
it probably suits him. Yeah, it's like a marriage of convenience, as we say in the business. But sure, that's not going to make any difference to the club themselves. I mean, the fans would be fuming.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw the way, like, they have, like, Ten Hag is the manager. Okay, cool, yeah. But you can see their shortcomings against City. And it wasn't that City were setting the world on fire. City, to me, looked nervous in that game because of the expectation, yeah. The double, the treble, you know. City looked a little bit, they weren't playing with the brakes off. Against Real, they played with the brakes off at the Etihad. They looked tense in that game, but still, United they couldn't even land a glove on them. You know what I mean? Like Ten Hag can talk all he wants, but the team itself, there's issues in there. There's problems. I mean, it's not. Casemiro is trying to hold it all together sometimes. He's not able to. There's a lack of quality, you know?
They need a cash injection, is what they need.
Yeah.
And they're never going to get that from the Glazers. And if I don't know if you ever heard what Ronaldo said when he went back to Carrington, like after all the years he was away, he went to train in the gym and all that, and he said it was like using the same stuff before he left.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Shit, you know, and like bits of it falling apart and all that. It's like Old Trafford. Old Trafford's one of the best stadiums in the world, and it's well known. And like to hear like parts of it are falling apart and they need to be repaired and no one's done anything to fix them. This has been going on since the Glazers have gone in. That's unheard of. It's Manchester United. Like things like that shouldn't be happening. I know it's like a minor thing, but that's how much they don't give a shit.
Yeah, but it's a sign of the overall problem within the club. Yeah. Like there's no actual duty of care. There's no responsibility to actually keep things. Like there's no organization. There's no order. Like without that.
Well, you think back to the day like when it was always Arsenal and United. None of these other teams got a look in. It was always us. They were our rivals. Spurs, fuck off, But it was always Arsenal and United. And you see how far them teams have fallen. Yeah, you see how far them teams have fallen now, and it's all City, Chelsea, Liverpool.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. Yeah.
It's so strange.
I was actually thinking about it earlier because, of course, Man City's run. Like they beat United in the FA Cup, they beat us for the league. We used to be up there, Keane and Vieira, and now we're Ferguson and Wenger. And now we're the ones that are actually looking over our shoulder, and Chelsea have surpassed us. Like the amount of trophies, the amount of Champions Leagues they have won. Now Manchester City are completely dominant. That is a problem for everybody, of course, not just for Arsenal. But now it's Manchester City all the way. And the problem is with Manchester City, United can't help but look across. Like it's worse for United than for us. Because up in Manchester, there's two teams. And they're looking across at each other. And United are looking across now at their once smaller. Yeah. And now they're the ones that are the small team. They're the ones that are struggling. They're the ones that couldn't win an argument. And City have completely eclipsed them. And not just a team that's bang average and had a lucky day. A team that's going to be around for a while. This City team is only beginning. Haaland hasn't even, you know what I mean? They're only starting, man. They're only starting. If Ten Hag thinks he can win a league, he's got to have a miracle. God would want to be on his side, man, because this City team is going to be there every year. Well, they might win one. They might win one.
Yeah. I think Ten Hag's screwed. If he doesn't get the financial backing, it doesn't matter who you put there. If you don't get the financial backing, you've got no chance. Look at City, like you said, prime example. They've got the capital. Chelsea have the capital. All right, I know Todd Bowley's gone.
Newcastle aren't doing too bad, man.
Newcastle, Liverpool, they'll end up with a better squad next season. There's going to be more competition, and it's going to be Arsenal, Man United falling further and further behind again. So it's sad to see either of us like in this situation, because it's like we were the big, we were the big dogs back then. You look at us now, it's like, fuck. How far was it?
Yeah, it doesn't have the same. It just doesn't have the same. Even Arsenal versus United clash, it's not top pick. It's not top drawer. You know what I mean? It's not first and second. It's not two title contenders. There's no spice to it. Don't get me wrong. Look, when we beat them at the Emirates and we were going for the title, we were on a bit of a title charge. That was exhilarating, especially our second half performance before we got the Nketiah winner, and they kept fighting back. They leveled it at 2-2. That was exhilarating, especially the way we dominated them in the midfield in the last 20 minutes, and we broke them. They ran out of steam. That was exhilarating, yeah. The team never gave up. I will say that for them. In that United game, they never let the heads drop. They kept recycling the ball phase after phase after phase. But I'll never forget this title run this season, because it's been such a while since it's got that excitement going in. Your heart flutters, you know what I mean? Before the games, I was genuinely nervous, like it was when I was a kid. But in the end, it amounted to the same as every other season, because the way we ended it. What went before it now is inconsequential. The season has already passed. And in the end, it was even more disappointing because we never had the wherewithal to actually land it, maybe, because the players just completely... They should be ashamed of themselves, man. Seriously, honestly. And I would be embarrassed if I was some of them. Take their paycheck, go home. Glad, fair enough, they have a nice life. They never need to. But what about the fans, man? What about the name of the club? Too many ex-players keeping quiet. Quiet.
You've said it. You've made a very good point. What about the fans? The realistic fans like myself, you, Arsenal Forever, Jez, Kenny Ken, Lee Gunner. I could go on.
Alex, Arsenal Alex.
Arsenal Alex, yeah, sorry. Luca to a certain extent.
Yeah.
It gets to a point where it's like the realistic fans would just be like, fuck this, we're not putting any more money into their pockets. The Arsenal fans we have at the moment, the youthful Arsenal fans, will continue to go to the games, will continue to pay overpriced tickets for season tickets. We'll continue to go and buy overpriced merch. We'll continue to buy overpriced food and drink at halftime. The problem is we all need to be on the same page, and to do that, we all need to get together and do it. And unfortunately, you won't get that. You'll still get this like divide. Us lot, because we're the older generation. Horrible to say. But because we're the older generation, we've seen a lot more. We know what Arsenal should be doing. We're not stupid. We don't listen to all these buzzwords like Project Youth, Phase 3, all that nonsense. Trust the process. We don't fall for all that, but these idiots do. These idiots will fall for it. Arsenal Fan TV, I'm sure they're in Arsenal's back pocket. And the reason I say that is because years ago they used to slag off Edu and Vinay and moan about all these problems that are at Arsenal, Wenger, Ivan Gazidis and all that. They moaned about Gary Neville. Do you remember? I don't know if you ever remember that when they were saying Gary Neville said this about Arsenal.
Yeah. He met up with them. He met up with them, and then they were quiet.
Yeah, they didn't say a fucking word to him.
Cowards when he said, "Let's have let's meet up for a 1-to-1."
I watched it. I was like, I thought, is your arse gone or something? Why didn't you say anything to him? But these people, like, I think Arsenal Fan TV don't help the situation. Look, fair play to them. It's a business to them. I get that. But I think they egg on like all these fucking idiots that go to the games now still.
Yeah.
And I think they egg a lot of it on, and I think they cause a lot of these problems. And then you listen to all these, like, I mean, I remember when I used to go, it was different times. But you see all these people that go now, and they're all like kids, youngsters in their 20s or whatever. And like they all think they know better than you. What do you fucking know? Well, I've had people say this to me at work, people I've worked with, telling me, "Oh, you're not like."
Sorry, man. You're not.
I see it coming at you as well.
Just 1 second, man. I gotta sort them out. Give me 1 second, man.
All right, mate.
Sorry, man.
All right. So the point I'm trying to make was, all these young fans that go to the games now, they haven't seen life before Arsene Wenger and Mikel Arteta and Unai Emery. But the thing is, we've the older generation of fans have, and we're not stupid. We're not. All these buzzwords mean nothing to us, but they mean a lot to all these youngsters that go. And these are the same youngsters that say, "Well, it was great because we got knocked out of Champions League. That we got knocked out of the Europa League, the FA Cup, the League Cup." Because we've got a bigger fish to fry and win the league. And we didn't. So what happened to the bigger fish? Anyway, that's just me ranting on. But that's how I feel about the situation. Pisses me off. But I feel if we're all on the same page, like, we'd be able to, hold the club accountable. I don't think it just stems with Arteta. I don't think it just stems with Edu and all that. This club's rotten from top to bottom, and it has been for a long time. Even when Wenger was here and Gazidis was here, it needs an overhaul. We need proper owners that actually want to invest and spend some money. We need like a director of football who actually gives a fuck about the club. We need proper scouts. We need the whole shebang, and I don't think we're going to get that under this regime. It's sad to say, but that's the way I think it's going to be. It's going to be like this for a long time. I don't think we'll do enough for next season. I think we might get 1 or 2 good players, and the rest of it will be mediocre. As Arsenal Forever said earlier on, we spent about £500 million on Dross. 1, maybe 2 good players, and the rest of it was Dross. So I kind of get the feeling the club won't be serious in the summer transfer window and in the January transfer window next season, and that's a bit of a concern for me. But anyway, I've ranted on. I'm just waiting for Dave to catch his moth and join me back on here. So yeah, if anyone's in the chat, please speak up. I'd appreciate it, because I can't actually keep talking to myself. It's a bit weird. Just gonna check the chat on my phone, see if anyone's messaged at all, because I can't see anything on here because Dave's last person. Okay, so last person that said anything was Arsenal Forever. Yeah, the Charity Shield is one big plate. Just think of all the food you could get on it. You could get a massive Toby Carvery on it, if you're into that sort of thing. I don't know what else to say. So City are champions of the Champions League. Wow. They've done the triple. Mental. See, I remember City when they were a bang average team back in the early 90s when they had players like Uwe Roselaar. Who was the other one? I forget his name now. He was like Giorgio Klinklatsi. That's it. They got relegated and they didn't have the money that they have now. I mean, you can't knock them. Clubs need to move with the times, and they haven't really done anything wrong. A lot of people are going on about the business they've done and it's dodgy and they've done this and they've done that. I mean, realistically, can you say that if your club had investors like they've got, would you be upset? Would you be annoyed about it? I don't think you would. I know I certainly wouldn't. I think they'd do more for us than the Cronkies have done. As Josh says, be excited about what? Come on, Dave. Say it by myself. Here he is. Jesus Christ.
I was just listening in the background to see what you actually say. I just wanted to know what you'll be doing.
Listening to
I'm only joking. I got rid of the man anyway. I didn't kill him though. I'm proud of myself. Okay, he was a big one though. I don't know if you actually see it. He was massive.
I see him fly towards you.
I let the window open. You see, by accident, not by accident, but it was being a very warm day. I had the fan on, then I left the window open. Of course, at this time of night, you know what I mean, they're all outside. He came straight in and he went straight onto the laptop screen. You see, that was attracted him.
Yeah.
As soon as I shut it down, he left, and then I kind of, fuck it, that caught me by surprise there. I wasn't expecting that. Anyway, at least it wasn't a squirrel.
No.
The squirrel normally comes in, because when I wake up in the morning, there's like his little paw prints all over the place.
Oh, wow.
Now, like his little paw prints. But one day he was hanging off the satellite dish outside, like by his teeth. And, he jumped up on the windowsill, yeah? And then he came inside and he was on the sill. And he got a shock when he saw me. So he flew out the window, yeah? And I could hear like a kind of a grating. And I opened the window out full. I looked out and he was hanging off the satellite dish with his teeth.
Christ.
And then he swung off it onto like a pole, down onto the shed, onto the wall, and over into the trees. That's London, man. It's the grey squirrel, the one that's everywhere. Yeah, the grey squirrel. There's two of them living outside in the tree, and they have a nest. So they're,
Yeah.
They heard the noise. I think I was watching Netflix. I think that's what it was, and they brought them inside. And some mornings I wake up and I'd seen the little kind of prints, little like paws had been on the table or something. And I was kind of like. And then one day he came in, I goes, there we go. When I was sleeping, maybe, or when I went out to the shower, I left the window open, let in some air. I think he came in. I don't do it anymore when I'm not here, because you wouldn't know what they'd be doing. Like, I only open the window now when I'm here. Anyway, enough about the squirrels. That's what happens when you're alone, boy. Your mind plays tricks on you. You know what I mean? The squirrel. But the squirrels are cool, though, man. The squirrels are cool.
Yeah, man. All good.
The foxes. We got a lot of foxes around here too, yeah. Like I come home at 1 a.m. after work, and they're running up and down the street, like 3 or 4 young foxes. Obviously, they're attacking the rubbish bags. You know what I mean? They're hungry, like, but they're incredibly quick. They're incredibly quick. I never knew they were so fast.
Yeah.
Mad quick at running. It's unreal, actually.
I've heard them screaming and they sort of make that noise they make early hours in the morning. Like, he's frozen again. Arsenal internet, Dave. Arsenal internet. Hasn't Dave got a beautiful smile? I don't know what else to say. There he is. He's back.
What is up with that squirrel? It's when I was talking about the squirrel.
He's chewing through your internet cables.
Yeah, I think he's sent by Arteta. He'd never bite Arteta on the balls, would he?
Yeah. Agent Squirrel, yeah.
Get him by the nuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, don't tell you about it. Anyway, that's it. That's going to be it for us this season, man. Doom and gloom. Let's get used to it. But let's see in the transfers what happens. I mean, that's going to tell a lot.
I mean, look, I'm hoping. Look, I always hope I'm proved wrong. Always, I don't want to be all doom and gloom about my team. Do you know what I mean? I want to think like, great, my team's done well. They've gone out and bought these players, and we can actually do something this time. But I just feel like, we've said this for years, and like, oh yeah, you know, we go and get this player, we go and get that player. Like last season was a prime example. The whole Mudryk thing. Now, I'm not worried too much about that. I mean, I didn't know anything about him before we were linked with him. I don't watch Ukrainian football, but we couldn't get that deal over the line. I'm not too bothered because we've got Trossard, and I think he's a great player. I think he needs to be played a lot more as well. But then I just worry that we buy players and we don't do enough. Like, we don't get enough players. So, like, summer transfer window, we got Fabio Vieira, which we shouldn't have done. We got Zinchenko, we got Jesus. And I'm sure there was someone else, I can't remember. But then you just think to yourself, right, well, that's all you're buying. You're not buying anyone else. Is he frozen? I'm talking to myself again. Okay, so you're buying nobody else. How the fuck can you say that's enough for the transfer window till January? Jesus gets injured at the World Cup. So we have Eddie Nketiah. Now, no disrespect to Nketiah. He didn't do too badly. But you can rely on him every game to score a goal. Jesus, you had more of an opportunity of scoring goals. Not just that, but he had good hold-up play as well. We then get to January. We're linked with Caicedo. We're linked with this player. We're linked with that player. We get Jorginho. We get Trossard. And we get Kivior. Kivior I'd never even heard of. I don't know about you.
No, never.
Never heard of him before at all. Trossard, obviously, look, he's a player I've admired for quite some time. Glad I haven't got him. But then again, it's like Arsenal's the Chelsea retirement home.
Yeah.
Fucking Jorginho. Now, don't get me wrong, he didn't look too bad the games he has played for us. But it's not. I don't know what our identity is anymore. What is it? Is it Project Youth?
It's not what we need.
Project Youth isn't a 31-year-old.
We're settling for mediocre players to save a buck. But that is not going to bring the success we need.
No. What's it? But that's what I mean. What is our identity? Because we're in all these buzzwords being buzzed around. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, the youth should, these young fans that like have all bought into this bullshit should be thinking, well, what is our identity? Are we Project Youth? Are we trust the process? Is it process phase 3? What are we? Questions do need to be asked, and people do need to sort of be held accountable, because it doesn't make any sense. Like, for a club like us, for years and years and years would succeed and win things, to go to this point and not win anything and get mediocre bog standard players, not all of them, but some bog standard players, this wouldn't have happened years ago. This wouldn't have happened in like early Wenger days. This wouldn't have happened in George Graham days until before he got sacked. Do you know what I mean? Something's not right. Something don't add up. It don't make sense.
The problem as well is people like Claude, God rest his soul. He was kind of weeded out a little bit before he died, like guys like him, you know. Heavy D also, guys that cared. Mo, that used to be on AFTV, you know what I mean? Free Palestine, this kind of thing. He wore that badge and they didn't want him on the show anymore. He was one of the reasons why I watched AFTV, because he was fantastic. Mo, very good.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got his own channel going on now, yeah. But I mean, it's like there's a different generation now, and they're not the same as before. And I mean, if you went to the stadium, I'd imagine, no, man, like, okay, I sit North Bank maybe if I get to go. If Stapes has a ticket, once in a blue moon I get to go. Yeah, it's been like a year and a half since last time. But if I go to the stadium, I'm sure I might be a little bit frustrated. I'm sure you would be too, because you're going to see fans around you that, yeah, it's like a knee-jerk reaction. There'll be all this, oh man, fuck the team. But next week they'll go again. And they go again.
Yeah.
They go again. I mean, they don't actually understand what's going on, I think. I mean, if you're going to put up with that crap, you're playing right into their hands. And I mean, this is where we find ourselves now. I mean, I would like everything to be rosy in the garden, man. I don't want to be creating problems. But if something's wrong, it needs to change. And if the club is going in the wrong direction, that needs to change too.
Yeah.
Like, how can you go to the game? How can you cheer on the team? I sometimes feel like I'm a sellout. How can you go to a game? How can you cheer on the team when you know deep down inside it's like a bad tooth, man? That tooth has to be pulled. You know deep down inside it's rotten to the core. So how can you even How can you support something like that? It's like whenever I go to the club shop, I look around to see what they have. I was thinking at the end of this year, it's my birthday in December. I might get myself something, But
Yeah.
what's going on now? I actually feel disgusted. I wouldn't go down. And this was before we bottled it, yeah. I don't feel like I just want to go and spend money when it's hard-earned money and you're literally throwing it away because what's on the jersey, it's not the same as it was before. It doesn't have the same meaning. And what is the point of that?
Well, this is it.
What is the point of that?
I've already said, like, I'm not going to buy any shirts or anything until I see us win things. Why would you, like, this is what I don't get. That's the stupid thing. People will still go out and buy the merch. People will still go out and spend hundreds of pounds on merchandise. People will go out and spend thousands of pounds on tickets, overpriced tickets. We're the highest paid season ticket in the country, and we haven't won anything. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
How can you condone like the ticket prices?
Yeah.
It's football used to be a working man's game as well.
Yeah.
It used to be when I used to go, it was like my sort of release. You know what I mean? I could go out and watch a game of football, have a few beers, go home.
Yeah, no matter what trouble you had going on in your life, you would.
It was left outside.
Yeah, and you would. You would feel like you belong to something.
But now it's like even a cheap ticket's like 70, 80 quid at least. And then it's like you've got all your food and drink and everything. And it's just so expensive. And then
to
pay all that money out. I wouldn't do you know what? I would pay that if I knew we could win things. But why should I give the club money if they're not going to spend it right?
Yeah. You see also, man, like I don't want to sound like I'm completely ignorant here on the matter, but you also see when you see the highlights of the Emirates or when you see like outside the ground afterwards, a lot of the people that go to the games from abroad, I'm talking about, not the boys around London, I'm on about from abroad, they're wearing Gucci and Calvin Klein, my friend. They're not short on a few pounds. They're the guys that can afford it. But everyone else is priced out of the market. Like I used to live in Munich before, back in the day in Obai. Okay, this is going back 10 years, okay? Things have changed price-wise, I'm sure. But even back then, compared to Arsenal, they were half price. Half. Now, this is to go see Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena. I got a ticket for a cup game once. You know what I paid for that? €10 is what I got that for. And I went with another fella from Munich, a German guy called Sebastian. Yeah. Like his 4 friends, lunatics, madmen. Germans are madmen, some of them, the football fans. But we went there, and it was non-stop banter for like 90 minutes. And it only cost us £10 a man. I'm sure now it's 20, but still, that's manageable. Like €20 is nothing, man.
Football.
And there I was, watching Sebastian Schweinsteiger in front of me, Muller, right? So, you know what I mean? And I was at the Allianz Arena, and this is Bayern Munich FC. Beckenbauer was the president of the club. I could see him. He was there. You know what I mean? So, if that's, they are like Mia San Mia, in Bayerisch, in like their own dialect of German, it's we are we. They are for the people. They are for the people, like probably 1860 Munich are too. They share that stadium, They share the Allianz Arena, like AC and Inter at the San Siro.
Yeah.
But Arsenal are like, like when I went to Munich, they were joking and laughing with me when I went to see the stadium one day. And even the doorman, and the security, okay, it was Munich, it's serious business, but they'd even have a laugh and a joke with you with their broken English. And they'd be messing around with you, But if you go up to Arsenal and you're like unexpected and you come up and you ask a question, they're literally kind of like, this is you and this is me.
Yeah.
They're completely detached from actually, they're not so warm, and Munich was way more. That's all I'm going to say, man. Seriously, we've become...
Yeah, snooty. Yeah.
And what have we won? What have we done?
Nothing. People
like
go,
Real should be like that. If Real were like that, I'd go, you know what? Fair enough, by 12 times, 14 times Champions Leagues.
Yeah.
It's fair enough, by, you know what I mean?
But like, just baffles me, honestly.
They're in London, and they think they're high polite. You know what I mean?
Oh,
They're
it's
not,
embarrassing. It's like even the stewards.
and the
like,
prices.
I don't know if you've ever found it, but like I remember last time I went, some of the stewards, not all of them, some of them were all right, but some of the stewards there have got a right fucking chip on their shoulder. Honestly, I
think they're
remember
in
like,
business.
I was watching. Last game I went to was Arsenal v Stoke. That's when Arteta was still playing for us, and he had that little fucking terrible.
Jesus, was that long ago?
Yeah, that's how long ago it's been. I said, I just
That
decided.
long ago?
I said, mate, it was just getting to the point where it's like, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
One, I can't afford it. Two, we're not winning anything.
Yeah.
And it was like, I've got better. It sounds silly, but I've got better things to spend my money on. So I just thought, fucking, I could come down and do this still, or try and put a few quid by, and also I've got a family, so it's like, I can't really keep. It's expensive,
It's not just you on your own,
Yeah, it's different. If it was just me by myself, it's a different story. But
single fella working away, it's just you. Oh, no.
That's it. And it's like, I remember, like, I went down there and I was watching Arsenal v Stoke. It's when Michael Owen tried to punch Arteta. I don't know if you remember that, in the back, and he missed.
I remember. Yeah.
And I was like, I was kicking off because, like, Stoke were just being dirty bastards, as what they do. Stuart said, "You carry on like that, I'm going to chuck you out." I said, "You what?" I said, "Shut up." Like, and he was like, giving it all the mouth. I said, "Listen, mate, I've come to watch a game of football. I'm going to do what I want to do." He goes, "Yeah, well, you carry on like that, I'm throwing you out." I said, "Oh, you can fuck off." And then, like, he just kept one more. I was like, "Oh, dickhead." I thought, but it's like anywhere else I've been to, even non-league games that I've gone to, I've never had that. And all of a sudden they're like trying to be like politically correct. Oh, well, there's kids in. I don't care if it's kids in. No disrespect. I
don't take them to the ground then.
It's a football game. Fucking hell. There's people.
The kids are going to hear it at home. They're going to hear it on the street.
Yeah. Well, there's people 4 rows in front of me, a bunch of young lads effing and blind, and he never said nothing to them.
Chicken.
Yeah, because there was 4 of them. That's why. Shit himself. It's just like
chicken, man.
What do you mean? I can't do what I want.
It's a football match. It's outdoors. You know what I mean?
I couldn't believe it.
A public place. It's a football game. There's going to be effing and blinding. There's going to be crossing. What if someone came on? What if there was a streaker? The kids are going to see that. What's he going to do?
Well, that's the thing. Know what I mean? That's the thing.
What if there's violence? What if there's fan violence?
I was like, I just sat there and I was like, what a fucking prick.
It's out of their control, man. I mean, okay, you were using a bit of language, but you're at a football match, you're venting frustration, not at any particular person, in general. What is the problem with that? You're mild-mannered. You're not a football hooligan, you're not a skinhead, you're not going to cause
trouble. Oh, man, fuck that. It's naive. Yeah, exactly. It's just like...
It's always the same way with these people. It's the wrong person in the job. They're not suited for the job, but they think they can do it good. But they don't realize they're not suited in the job. That guy is not suited. He is not meant for that job. Always the same, right? It's like, and they think then, oh yeah, that's something I would like to do, but you're not suited at it.
No.
They're muppets, man. Seriously. I mean, you need to stick up your ass, I think, to get a job at the fucking, like there's a fella working with us, yeah, and he's an Australian. And he's gay, yeah, but fucking big up himself, man. That's his buzz, right? Like, I know problem with the homosexuals, yeah. So he's homosexual, guy's gay, he's an Arsenal fan, he's only like 20, he's wet behind the ears, yeah, an old young fella, but he's like 6'5". But he's pure like, soft. He's a softie. So there we go, anyway. He's working actually as a steward at the Emirates on match day sometimes because he knows a fella there. Well, he's an Arsenal fan, yeah, big up himself, man. But I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, you and me, we would be suited to that job probably a little bit more than him. It's like they know somebody who knows somebody, so they get in.
Yeah.
But, like, they don't take it like, yeah, he is a fan, but I mean, he doesn't cherish it as much. Even just being a steward, being close to the players sometimes, he doesn't actually cherish it as much as the next guy. He kind of takes it a little bit. Oh, he's a nice guy, but he takes it for granted. Yeah? He doesn't realize he's only 20. But I mean, somebody else would actually be like, holy cow, man, that was Martin Odegaard, or that actually was Mikel Arteta that just walked past. He's kind of like, it's people that don't cherish it, man. They don't value it. They tend to come by it easier. I don't know why that is. I mean, I said to him then, have a word of me with your buddy, and he never did, I'm sure. He never did, yeah. And some days I'd be killing him in work, man. The things I've said to him, no, right? I mean, I'm not going to repeat it on air. But no, nothing about his sexuality, yeah, but I've kind of been like, why didn't you put in a word for me, man? You know, what's your problem? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, if he had a problem outside, I'd be the first fella to step up and stand in front of him. I wouldn't be standing behind him. I'd be standing in front of him. I'd be like, what's your problem with him? You know what I mean? He's my friend. But I'd say, put in a word for me, man. You know what I mean? And then he's with British Airways. Yeah? He got a job with British Airways. So he's working with them full time, and he works with us one day a week. And then he doesn't turn up at work, or he turns up later, or he does nothing. I'm strangling him, man. But he's working with them, yeah. And I said, oh, man, I was thinking of flying to New York, you know. Maybe with your discount, I could get the ticket half price. Now, I was being nice about it, buddy, yeah. I wasn't being like a dick.
No.
I was just saying, you know, if it's possible, you know, maybe I could get like your discount because you're working there. Now, it's no skin off his nose, eh? He was kind of just silent. I mean, that tells you all you need to know. But he's at the Emirates as a steward, whereas it would mean a hell of a lot more for me, to me personally, if I was there. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm a fan. He's a fan, but I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know what you mean.
He's a steward at the Emirates because he knew someone. I mean, honest to God, man. I mean, then he's working like, you know, it's not much to you, maybe, but to someone like me or someone else, this would be a lifelong dream.
Yeah, they're the sort of people that say to you, "I'll get free tickets to games and stuff."
Yeah,
and then they know you support the same team, but then they'll just say that to you. You'd be like, "Oh, well, maybe you know I could go one day, or whatever." And it's like, "Oh yeah, well I'll let you know," and then they never.
That actually happened. Yeah, that actually happened once or twice with him, and he was just kind of like blanking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I'll get fed up with people like that. Yeah,
he went to that point, and then it didn't go any further.
Yeah, I was like,
it don't make any sense, man.
Don't do me no favours, mate. Do one like sort of thing. That's the attitude I end up with after a while with people like that. They just piss me off.
Yeah,
I know people like that. You meet people like that all the time. Like they say, "Oh yeah, I'll help you out. I'll help you out," and then when you ask them for help, they don't want to know. So it's that kind of mentality. I can't deal with it.
Yeah, and as well, like when he's getting hired by the stadium, yeah, he probably fits their profile. I mean, the way he looks. You know what I mean? He probably fits the profile because he's mild mannered and he's this and he's that. And then with British Airways as well. You know what I mean? Because he's
got to be politically correct.
The times are changing, yeah. The times are changing, man.
You can't be a bloke anymore. You've got to be something else. So
yeah, I act like a full time bloke when I'm in work anyway. They have me in the bar mostly, in the restaurant. And there's fellas come up here, so like stag party. I was telling them what my stag was like back in the day, you know what I mean? And they were laughing and joking, and I was saying some very vulgar stuff now, yeah. But the girls working with me were laughing, and they liked it because a lot of guys come in, they're already on something, yeah. They're drinking. These guys were coking, I think. I'm sure they were taking cocaine. Now I don't do drugs, but they were constantly like that, sniffle, and they were like this. I'm sure they did a couple of lines on the train down or something. Yeah? So they came in, they were having a few beers. They were friendly, no, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, they were okay, yeah. They were grand, but they were all
on something. It's got that Arsenal Wi-Fi. That's what it does.
Like, put out by it, or a little bit kind of. Sure, I started acting the exact same way. You know, like I was just myself. Like I'm Irish. I know my way around the bar. So I was just, you know, I was just giving it the old lads banter. And the girls working with me liked it because the fellas were kind of like that. Jeez, this fella's fucking, you know what I mean? This guy's... I wasn't doing it because the girls were in earshot or nearby. I was actually just, you know, talk. You know what I mean? So we were talking. I was like, yeah, it's like this, it's not like that. Blah, blah, blah. They were like, you should come with us, you should come with us. I was like, I got to work, man. Have a drink. So I had a Red Bull. They're like, where are you going to see the game tomorrow? I said, I'm probably going to watch it at home, man, you know. And they were all right. But your man was getting married anyway. He was actually from Australia. His father-in-law is living in London.
Yeah.
So I think they flew back for the wedding to London, yeah, but they're living in Australia. Which he was absolutely... He was drinking water then when I saw him at the bar. He was drinking water. I was like... he was like, I'll have a Heineken zero alcohol. I was kind of like, Heineken zero alcohol, is that? And all the boys were, what? And then he was there with a glass of water. though, you know.
Oh dear.
You should come working with us, boy. We could do what you in the hotel. You know what I mean? You'll be the barman, like cheeky chap behind the bar.
I wouldn't get any fucking work done, mate. I'd be too busy having a drink.
Cheeky behind the bar. You could be like that.
I'd last 5 minutes, I reckon. I can't, mate. I can't. Do you know what it is? I think anyone that does that job, I respect them, but I just fucking hate people.
Yeah, you hate people, isn't
it? Do you know what? It's the rudeness. I can't deal with it. I used to have so much patience.
Yeah.
I've got no patience anymore. My missus will tell you the same thing. She'll be like, I've got no patience.
I understand you though.
It's like stupid little things. Like I was in the supermarket the other day getting like shopping and whatnot, and this woman, like, your typical like fish lips with fucking fat ass and like the Kardashian, the fucking tracksuit.
She's got she got the light boy,
slider things on her feet and all that. She stops. Like, I'm pushing a trolley and she stops right in front of me. Oh, I don't know what I need to get. Oh, where is it? Like standing there, I'm like, I can't move either way because there's people the other side of her. She goes, oh, I'm not sure what it is to do. I need to do. I said, I'll tell you what you need to do. You need to move out the fucking way. And she just sort of looked at me. She goes, well, you're rude. I said, yeah, so yeah. I said, I'm behind you. Move. Like, I just haven't got the patience anymore, honestly.
It's definitely not because we have to put up with a lot of shit.
I couldn't do it.
We do. We're on the front line in the restaurant and bar. Yeah, people are like face to face with you.
Oh, I couldn't.
And they're cheeky in this country too, you know. I mean, not just the English, but the Northern Irish come over too from like Belfast, Derry. You know, they have a real chip on their shoulder. Yeah, people from the north, they are tough. I mean, they are tough. They have had, Belfast has been through the Northern Ireland has got fucked a bunch of years. So these people are tough. Yeah, tougher than Dublin, tougher than where I come from. They are tough. So if you close up the bar at 11:15 and they come in at 10:00 or 5:00, yeah. It's just they are just nasty, they're mean, they're a little bit aggressive, they're toe to toe with you, nose to nose. I mean, obviously that doesn't bother me, it's water off a duck's back. But if it ever gets too much, I just stroll off, I sit down for 5 minutes in the back and come back out in grand. You know what I mean? Because I could be the worst person in the world, man, when I'm pushed. So I like to, when I was a younger man, I was, fiery out like. But now I'm a bit, it takes a lot. My blood boils a lot slower, so I actually have that wherewithal to step back. I just stay cool. But we have problems with us. I won't go into it too much, but I don't know if you know, but we take counsel people. Nothing wrong with them, yeah. But some of them are like at the worst part of their lives. They have no other option. They're with the council. But there's a problem with them being in the residence anymore for one reason or another. So They come to us. Through the council, yeah, and they're staying in the room, but they go into the normal population in the hotel. So I go away on a Friday, I come back on a Saturday, all of a sudden there's this new guest in the restaurant. I don't know, is it a tourist, like you come down with your missus, your family, or is it a person from the council? You only find out later. And like I said, they're at the lowest point of their lives at this point. So they tend to be quite explosive and problematic. And I mean, it does get, like, the police will be called all the time, you know. Yeah, they can be quite a real handful. I mean, not for me really, but I have to stay within the rules because I'm working. When I'm on the street, anything goes. I'm outside on the road, it's open season. Yeah. But when I'm in work, I have to be, and I'm a nice guy in general, you know what I mean? It takes a lot to get me going. But they come in by and they get off on the wrong foot straight away. It's messy, you know. I think we get messy. Like, definitely not for you, man. Definitely not.
No. Again, mate, I've done things like retail and stuff years ago when I was younger, and it's just like, even then I was getting fucked off with it. Rude people.
They are very rude, though, man. They are.
I'm like, fucking. I remember I used to work. Like, do you remember Blockbuster Video?
Yeah.
When I left school, I was working there for a little while. I remember this guy, and I couldn't believe the fucking cheek of the guy. So he picked out the wrong film that he didn't want it, and he brought the videotape back. This is when you had videotapes, right?
Yeah.
He'd thrown the videotape across the room, broke the videotape, and he said, "Yeah, I want a refund." And I was like, "Well, you've broken it." He goes, Yeah, well, I was about to sit down and have my dinner, and it ruined my night. I said, well, I'm not giving you nothing then, am I? I said, you've broken it. I said, you should be paying us then, shouldn't you? He's getting all arsy because I want your name. I said, oh, fuck off. Like, you're an idiot. I said, you break something and then you want to kick off about it. I said, you're the one at fault. And this went on for ages. And after a while, I was just like, oh, I don't give a fuck, mate. Just do one. You're an idiot. Like, I get to that stage where it's like, I've got so much patience but after a while, I'm just like, oh, do you know what? You're a moron.
You've got your limits. You're a human being too.
I can't
you're a person too. Yeah, you're a person too, man.
So I'm not. I don't care. Like I thought, if I get sacked, I get sacked. Like I don't get paid enough to put up with this shit.
Exactly. Yeah. It's your day-to-day job.
Yeah.
You're making enough to get by, pay your bills, and maybe have a holiday once a year. Do they honestly think that you have nothing better to do than to put up with that? I mean, some members of the public, right, they just go too far, man. They just cross the line. Like I was one day at the restaurant and I was minding my own business, yeah. And there was people staying there as guests. That's cool. I get it. They're guests. But we have a restaurant booking policy. And if we are 100% capacity, man, we only have 2 cooks down below and there's only 4 of us between reception, office, bar, and restaurant. So like if you come along, yeah, and you check in at 3 p.m. and you have the presence of mind because you are a normal human being, we just go up and say, yeah, we'd like to book it for dinner at 6 o'clock. These people turn up off the cuff anytime they want, a little bit cheeky, yeah, and they say, oh, we're guests. I say, yeah, but do you have a reservation? Oh, this is on a Saturday night, my friend. This is not on a Monday night. You know the difference.
Busy.
So busy, yeah, it's busy. And some people, they go all around London, they're absolutely jacked when they come back. They're so tired because the city is so big. All they want to do is go up, shower, lie down for an hour, and come down and eat in the restaurant. They're not willing to go out anymore. They've walked.
Yeah. And then he went. Well, there you go.
One guy, like half his nose was bitten off here at the bridge, and he was, I'd say, 60 at least. Well, he sounded like an old school gangster kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
The way he was talking, and she was with him. Now, the smell of alcohol off the two of them, yeah, would drop a horse. But she was with him. He was squaring up to me, yeah, nothing but language, bad language to me. I said, look, do you want this time or not? They wanted it at 7:30, we can only fit them in at 8:30. I said, do you want the booking or not? He goes, you know what you can do with that now? He said, and where you can fucking stick it. I said, that's grand. And I just put a mark through it, yeah. I closed the folder, I walked away from the hose stand, I went into like the back kitchen, and I just sat there for like 2 or 3 minutes, and I was like this. All right, I'm good. And then I went back out. I was gone. You know what I mean? But I was being nice. Like, as soon as you say that to me, I mean, I don't know who he thought he was talking to. He obviously didn't know what I was or who I am or what I am, because I do not look like a pussy. I mean, let's be honest. I didn't know. He was in such a rage, and he was so drunk, I think, that smelled a drink off him. They went outside somewhere, they fucked off out of it, but like that bit of his nose had been bitten off in a street fight years ago. Yeah, I could see it. You could actually almost see the bite marks. I'm not exaggerating. But I mean, his day is long gone. His day is long gone, man. His day was long gone.
Yeah.
I'm like 30 years younger than him. You know what I mean? Like if we throw the hands, it's like me against a 19-year-old. You know, the 19-year-old is younger and fitter. I'm younger and fitter than him. I mean, his day was long gone. He may be able to throw 1 or 2, but he's not going to. But his wife was embarrassed then. And I felt that she was embarrassed.
Yeah, it's a fucking stupid thing to do, isn't it?
We've a thing from Arsenal forever. Here you go. Jesus Christ.
That Ben is still going live. Pick up.
Probably thinking of Beyonce. Beyonce. Did you see his story about Beyonce earlier at the Tottenham?
Yeah.
She was at the Tottenham Stadium.
She went into the trophy cabinet because it's the biggest emptiest room.
Yeah, she was keeping all her stuff in the empty trophy cabinets. She had enough space. Tottenham Stadium. Beyonce loved it there. There was loads of space.
Loads of space in that empty trophy cabinet. And
I seen her live once, you know. She's a good singer. Yeah. Back in the day, man.
Yeah,
I liked Rowland, though. Kelly Rowland was singing by, and I fell in love with Kelly. I had a girl with me, so I couldn't make it obvious, but I was like, God damn. Kelly, you know Kelly Rowland, right?
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know.
No, Nelly and Kelly, yeah, the Nelly and Kelly song.
I know.
I was like,
I,
God. All they have is a microphone, yeah, but it's like the voice is just. I like that, yeah. When a woman can sing, on it. I find that attractive in a woman, yeah. If a woman has a good voice, I'm like, wow, man. Except Adele.
Ugh.
I don't like Adele for some reason.
Oh, I don't really like much of the chart or anything like that anyway. I used to when I was younger, but
I mean, what's your genre?
I haven't really got one. Anything that's good, really.
Would you like jazz? Blues?
I don't mind a bit of it sometimes. I've got to be in the mood.
Yeah.
Bit of old sort of classic 80s rock or like, a bit of AC/DC or Kiss or something like that. But then I like me dance music and stuff as well. So it's like I don't go clubbing or nothing, but I like a bit of, house music or something.
Like Paul Oakenfold?
I think I'm past all that. I like it a bit more mellow house now. But I used to like it when I was younger. I used to go clubbing all the time. But obviously I'm not a young man no more, so I can't really. Someone says bust a move, I'm more likely to bust my hip. So, it's, I can't really.
But you've lived as well, man. You've lived. You know what I mean?
Mate,
that's the old saying, right? You have to live together.
I always remember.
You've experienced it.
I'd go out on a Thursday night clubbing, Friday night clubbing, go Saturday night clubbing, and then go for a few pints on a Sunday night. I think about that now, and I just feel tired thinking about it. It's just like, fuck that.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
How the hell did I used to manage doing that?
It's a young man's game, boy. Here we go. Did you know that the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium have built a track for go-karting? Yeah, well, they have to have something fast. You know what I mean? Because they got no fast players.
I know some of these
go-karting track.
They were going to have. I think they had a cheese room as well.
We keep Harry Kane at the club.
Yeah, I think they had a cheese room because where I used to work years ago, like it was a tile, like like wall tiles and things like that. All these. I used to work at this place where they did all these fancy tiles and everything. So a lot of the tiles you see in the changing rooms, around the ground, like where they've got like floor tiles, wall tiles. A lot of that come from where I used to work. So they'd order it in, especially like from factories in Italy and Spain and all these sort of places. And a lot of it came from our place, like all the building materials and everything. It used to come from the company I used to work for years ago. I was just gutted it was going to there. But I mean, it was quite interesting. Like, it's just a shame it was Tottenham Hotspur. But hey ho. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it sounds nice. I've had many jobs down through the years, man. But I do like living in London now. I'm not going to lie. There's Irish people everywhere, but you need a top job in London now. You need to be earning like $5 or $6 grand.
I've been to London. I used to go to London all the time, and I was going to go clubbing and everything. ACDs are the best. F Guns N' Roses. Yeah, I think Guns N' Roses are overrated, mate. If I'm honest, they were.
Axl as well has a reputation of being a bit of a
bollocks.
Axl Rose, yeah, he's a bit of
an arsehole. But yeah, AC/DC, mate.
The other band members and stuff, like he's a law unto himself, man. I mean, he was famous because they all were good, not just him.
Well, Slash made them as well, didn't they? Let's be real. Amazing. But yeah, AC/DC, amazing. Love AC/DC. Anything like that, bit of Def Leppard or Pearl Jam or anything like that, really.
Nirvana were good as well, man.
I used to like Nirvana, yeah. Dave Grohl, you legend.
He started off with the Foo Fighters then, man. They're decent. I listen to their music.
Yeah, they're good. But like, it's not just that. I like a bit of everything, really. Like, I'm not really into rap music or nothing, but it's just not for me. Like, I don't knock it. If anyone likes it, good for them. But it's just not my cup of tea.
Each to their own. Each to their own. Yeah. One man's wine is another man's poison.
Well, that's it.
The only thing I don't like is jazz, man. The only type of music I don't like is jazz.
I'm a bit hit and miss with it. I like some of it. I like it if I'm just in a chilled out kind of mood, like just something to sort of relax to and unwind. I couldn't listen to it all the time; it'd do my head in. But I don't really like all that sort of shouty fucking, you know, like rock music. It's like death metal, fucking
Yeah.
Slay the Virgin, fucking.
Slipknot.
I couldn't.
They're wearing the masks and they're like
Giving it all that. It's like,
they all look like the Texan Chainsaw Massacre. You know, they're all like that kind of guy with the long hair and the mask.
yeah,
They're all like that in the videos.
yeah,
Like
yeah. I couldn't listen to that all day. Honestly, it drive me mad.
Yeah, you'd be putting your fist through the wall. It's
I
crap
got
as well, though. It's crap. It's crap, though.
It's. I want to be able to hear what they're saying. I can't. I mean,
don't know, man.
There's so much shit around. It's just like, yeah, it's not all of
The
it.
80s music, like we said, man. The 80s music was like 80s was when music became. I was
Yeah.
only a kid then, but now looking back, I don't know 80s music. Oh, I was sickened when Tina Turner died, man. That was a kick in the.
Shocking.
She was a bit of a, you know, like I said, I like a woman that can sing, man. It's attraction, and I was like, oh man, Tina Turner. She sung, I was like, God damn, you know. But she was a woman. She was a woman. She was full of life and vitality, and I seen her house. Yeah, I saw her house when I was over in Switzerland.
Oh yeah,
I was dating a girl there.
I thought you could say you were dating her.
I fucking wish, Jesus, if I got her into bed, I'd never get out.
Oh my God.
You'd never get out if you got her into bed, man. Seriously, you'd never get out. But anyway, I was there, right? Well, you know, she had legs on her, man. She had a voice. Well, she had some kind of thing going on.
Mate. Fucking hell.
Oh, man, what a woman. She would just destroy you. Anyway, so I was there. What a voice, man. All she'd have to do was sing and they'd be all over.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, go on, yeah.
You know, keep it clean. But I was there and I was dating a girl there. And she was living close to where, you know, Tina was living, down by the lake in Zurich. She was living by the lakeside. So not far from the Opera House in Zurich. They have a full lakeside. And it's where the bigger houses and the mansions are, on one side. They call it the Gold Coast. So obviously anything there is like worth 1.2 million, 1.5 million. Tina's place was down there. So she said, you ever seen our place? No, I said, no. She said, sure, it's on the way to my place. No, I'm on about, she was living half an hour from there, not in the same area. This one was just living around my flat. So she got into the car. She goes, come on, let's go. So drove me down there and we got to the walls, you know. Obviously it was fully gated. The walls were like maybe 15 feet high. And then they had trees on the other side that were kind of blocking the view of the house. You know what I mean? But I could see the roof. I could see the window. And like the landing. I could physically see the house. Obviously, you can't actually get too close because the security are there. You know, there's guys outside, and it's like serious business. You know what I mean? It's like license plate check on each car kind of thing going on. I could see them actually writing down the license plate of the car we were in. You know what I mean? In case there was any trouble. So we just drove off out of it again. We got out for a while. We looked and we were like, you know, they knew we were cool, but yeah, I seen her house, man. I seen where she was living. She got Swiss citizenship and she married a German guy, you see. He was living in Switzerland. So she gave up her US passport and she took the Swiss one.
Oh.
There we go. Dave, you've been thunderstruck. Please, I wish.
Thunderstruck.
Tina Turner's such a nice girl. I believe she's got a house. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I seen it. I seen the house. That's my claim to fame. But I didn't see Tina. I think she was hiding from me. She knew that I was going to try to...
Dave broke into her house. He's one of the stalkers.
Anyway. Yeah, I was like that. Hey, you there in the bushes, like Homer Simpson. As if they said to Homer Simpson, hey, what do the ladies call you? Hey, you there in the bushes. Well, that was Mo Sislak. I don't even remember that episode now. It's a bit weird to say that. But that was what they used to say to Mo on The Simpsons. Hey, you there in the bushes. Because he was hiding from the women behind the fucking bush. Mo Sislak. The Simpsons is funny though, right? I mean, you can't help it like The Simpsons. Right?
Classic.
South Park came along and kind of raised the bar of complete, absolute madness.
And then Family Guy.
Yeah. I liked The Simpsons though, man, back in the day. I mean,
me
it's still
too.
good now. You'd still laugh at it.
Oh, yeah.
Barney, Willie, groundskeeper Willie.
Oh, he's funny as fuck.
Skinner, Principal Skinner, I mean, and Skinner's mom. You know what I mean? Come on, like, the characters are just...
Yeah, I mean, Homer's always going to be my favourite, but I mean...
Yeah, Homer, And Marge's two sisters, Patty and Selma, they hate Homer, you know what I mean? I'm the granddad.
Couple of beauties, they are.
Yeah. Oh, man. Anytime you want to wrap it up, just let me know, yeah.
I think I'm going to have to go, mate. I was up at 6 o'clock.
No problem,
so I'm absolutely shattered.
Thanks for coming on, yeah. I appreciate it.
No worries, man.
I'll be in touch, yeah. And sleep well, yeah.
You too, man.
And keep the faith, keep the faith, man.
I'll try. Can't promise nothing.
I think we're going to do the treble. I think Arsenal are going to do the treble, so don't worry about that.
I was going to say the quadruple, but never mind.
We'll settle for the quadruple, sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'm actually going to start saying that at work tomorrow just to freak people out.
Just put it on your next video. We'll do the quadruple next season.
For the quadruple, and then I'll invite a few people on that I know are going to kick off. just to raise it. But here we go. Arsenal forever. Ike Turner was a horrible bastard. I think we know what word that's meant to be. That film from Angela Bassett was brilliant. I never seen it.
Yeah,
but in London right now is the show, Tina in the theatre. So I'd say that's going to make a lot of money. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna wrap up the stream, guys. Big up to McManus for coming on. Check out both his channels. Arsenal Forever. He has 2 channels, He has McManus Sense and McManus Gaming. So check out both of them, Do yourself a favor. He's got 2 different channels, And take care, man. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
No worries, man. You take care.
See you later, man. You too, See you later, man. All right, guys. That's it. I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you to everybody for your continued support on my channel. Your likes, your subscribes, and your comments. I appreciate it. No worm turned up today, but that's fine. I'm just going to knock this one on the head notes. Almost 1 in the morning. Thank you to everybody for your continued support. I appreciate it. Your likes, your subscribes, your comments. If you want to smash the donate button, please do. I'd appreciate it. And then, thank you to everyone for your comments, and for your support. I appreciate it. Thank you to Arsenal Forever. Big up yourself, man, for all your comments, Thank you to McManus. And I think all of the comments were from you, Arsenal Forever. I think that's the first time it ever happened. All of the comments on the stream are from you. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. And sleep well, and take it easy. And thank you for your support again, and see you next time, Come on, you gooners, Peace.